everybody. Good day, everybody. Hold on one second here while I get everything going here. Wait. Hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, good morning, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show. And oh, is it a special day here. Yesterday was a crazy day. Today is November 6th, the day after Election Day. And it's nuts. We're tired. We're up late. That's no reason not to introduce my co-host, Pedro Garcia, in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro Garcia.
How is everybody doing? It's good to be on here. It is good to be seen. I feel like it's a good day, man. Saw some really interesting things happen yesterday in the market, man. It has been fun. Do we want to jump right into Bitcoin real quick?
Let's hit it, brother. Alrighty,
guys. Here, check this out here real quick, guys. So Bitcoin did some really interesting things yesterday. First of all, I want to talk here about gold. Gold plummeted. Risk off. People said, okay, Trump got in. We think he's going to settle things down in the Middle East and everything else. And the fact that he's going to start drilling, which means there's going to be a lot of stuff where people are going to have to start checking themselves. So it's really interesting to see that. So we saw gold drop. Hence, we've talked about BTC and gold, right? Having this kind of relationship with each other, right? And, well, that could be less obvious now than ever before, literally because we saw a pumpage happen here with BTC, as we've been talking about now here for the last almost 9 months, right? Between March and November, it's a consolidation period. We've talked about this. Look at this here. Look at this dope candle taking out these highs, and we're seeing good volume here. It was funny because I honestly saw so many shorts coming in over the last 2-3 days. I said, man, they're getting ready to drop this market. Like, what's going on? Lo and behold, it was just simply a protection. It was one of those things that they were just hedging their bets. If Trump loses, this should go. And you can see it was taken off real quick. They took their stuff off, and we saw the pressure relieve, and now we're watching it starting to kind of get ready to kind of pump here. So I'm really interested. I'm really excited about that, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's in a nutshell.
What happened with gold here?
Oh, so gold literally dropped. I mean, if we look at it, it kind of plummeted. So here we go. Yeah, but here's the thing. It was more of a risk on, risk off type of thing. But what I find so interesting with it is that when we sold off with good volume. And we're coming down to this 50 period. And we didn't see much of an interaction with this. We really didn't see what's the word I want to use? A dramatic bounce off of this 50, which typically we've seen some pretty good bounces off the 50. So the fact is that we're coming down into this level, and I think we're going to go lower with gold. I think people are. I mean, how much did it fall? And most people, if you're following,
it fall like that. Look, just looking at your chart.
Yeah.
I mean, did the market build in doom and gloom under Ms. Harris? But when Mr. Trump wins, it's all is going to be good, so we don't have to worry about.
Well, here's the thing.
Of our wealth? What the hell?
Not necessarily, right? Like, it's not that we don't need to worry about the safety of our health, but I'll put it like this. And we've talked about this here on the, actually, before we jump into this part right here, if you could do us a quick favor here, you guys know we talk about real issues with real things. Want to shout out to the guys out in Rumble as well. Thank you guys for watching us. We had a great show yesterday. We had a ton of people go through and interact with us yesterday on Rumble. Look, guys, if you guys could do us a quick favor, hit that like button, share button, and say something in the chat box. Simply say where you're coming from or where you would like to be, and or literally where you don't want to be. I mean, just tell me, talk to me. I want to. If you want to make fun of my nose, my hair, call me a hippie or whatever it be, go ahead as well. I have no problem with it. I actually love the trollage. I enjoy it. I actually really do. It's really funny. I almost look forward to do it when people do it. I'm like, oh yes, the trollage. Okay, you know. So it's just real interesting. But on the back end here, please hit that like, subscribe, and share us to your preferred social media platforms, whether that be the Musk or the Zuckerberg or good old Goog. Either way, please share us to the ones you like and you don't like. Alrighty. Go ahead, my friend. Talk to me, Goose. How you doing?
Good, but why? I mean, Trump declares victory and gold tanks.
Yes.
It's like the whole world is, they're out there beating us up, saying, "Oh, Trump, Trump, Trump," but then they're like, "Whew, shoo, let's, we don't need to keep our money in gold. We're gonna move it to the stock market and Bitcoin or something like that."
Well, because here's the thing, it shows that there really is this idea of like people want to see industry move, right? Industry move in America. And I think a lot of people know, like Americans are just naturally wanting, and this is going to go into the idea of MAHA, right? Make America healthy again. And if America gets healthy again, okay, meaning our diabetes drops, okay, people stop having as much cancer, people stop having as much whatever it would be, okay, there's going to be a lot of freed up energy. And that freed up energy is going to go in a few places. One is going to go into businesses.
Yep.
Okay. Two, it's going to go into be creative things outside of businesses. And that energy is going to propel us to new things. So I think that's going to be huge for me with MAHA and what it's going to do. And you're asking, well, what do you mean by energy? Our energy source comes from our mitochondria. And right now, the way the food system works and a lot of the water system works, it throws off our body and suppresses literally our testosterone. So long story short, I'm looking forward to literally seeing us propel in business because testosterone increases in Americans, which will make us do more. We already do more with the suppressed system. Imagine. Not just sex. Sex is a byproduct of success. When you have a drive in America, meaning, yes, sex drive, but also a drive to go out and accomplish things. Testosterone makes accomplishing things feel good. That's what it does. If anybody watches Andrew Huberman, talks about that all the time. And so an increase in testosterone in Americans means a more productive America. And this is and we're gonna see it. And it's going to be really interesting to see how Robert, what's up?
He's not getting the job. Congress isn't going to approve him. I don't think he can, if it requires being approved by the Senate, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see any path to victory for, even if Mr. Trump's like, this is my guy, the Senate's going to be like, no, we can't have a Democrat as the dude. You got to put a Republican. And
I don't know.
All those industries that you're beating up on right now, they got more money than Donald Trump does, and they're going to say no, we can't have this. You're optimistic. I hope you're right, but I don't see it happening.
It's going to be really interesting because as we move forward and we start to see what actually happens here in America, I am. I mean, and that's where I think people really see. They see, look, a prosperous America. I mean, just look at the dollar. The dollar screamed and all other, I mean, look at this. This is the dollar, man. Look at it. Last night, dude, everybody funneled into the dollar and ran it up. I mean, this is nuts, dude. So I sit there. I mean, you did a whole entire move in 1 month of move. It did literally in one night. And now we're consolidating. If you look at we're going to look at the euro, we're going to look at a couple other things. Everything fell in relationship to that. People are running into the dollar for security. Like I know that was, remember we talked about that with Colia yesterday, and how she's like, no, people are going to run away from it. No, people are running to the dollar.
I know that's a common misperception or misconception amongst a lot of people outside the country is
Yeah.
really they don't understand the vastness of the U.S. economy and the amount of debt we can support. Not saying that amount of debt we have is good. I'm just saying that they don't understand that it's not this little house of cards like this that's ready to go.
With what's happening with Xi Jinping and the situation with North Korea, and additionally to Putin, dude, like it's BRICS is now really, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even call them chumps. Well, I don't want to call it like that, but I think their time they should have been able to. They should have got their stuff together underneath Kamala. Because the reality is this: now that Trump is really involved, he's going to sit there and say, "Quit your shit," or "We're just done with you guys." Like, and we'll figure out other ways for manufacturing. It's going to be really interesting to see what Elon does. I mean, did you see what he showed? He brought the sink into Congress. Did you see the picture going, "Let the sink in"?
No.
Bro, I was like going, "What?" Like, it's this. It's going to be really interesting.
Sorry, I'm gonna audio check. How's my?
Oh no! Don't tell me.
Pedro. No, it's good. They're just saying my mic was low.
Oh, okay. I'm just very, very quiet. By the way, what's up, Joshua? It's good to see you, brother. God Almighty, thank you for gracing us with your presence again. It always feels warm and cool. You like that warm?
Chuck Jansen in the house. Dr. J says,
"What's up, guys?"
Buy yesterday on the Infineon presale over $60K.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you watch that wallet. You watch that wallet, Chuck. You watch when it sells off, and you'll be disappointed again. It happens. It happens in that. In that sphere of wallets there, you be careful. As soon as you see that one start selling a little bit, you dump your bag and buy in lower. It happens every effing time over there. Sorry about that. God Almighty's in the house. Thank you. I see you had a lot of influence on the election last night. Pedro and I are going to talk about the election here in just a moment here. Get a couple of things off our chest because I have some concerns that Pedro is going to be like, that I have not yet discussed with Pedro. But all of you guys are going to be like, wait a minute. Or you're going to be like, I told you so. So hold on a sec with those. Good morning, Chumbalones and Chumbalinas.
What's up?
Trump did it. Let's go green markets. Jerry Molinari, Crispy in the house. What's up, fellas? Smash that like button and subscribe. Yes, thank you, everybody. Please do that.
Just do it.
Damn, my pinky ring is worth less now because gold.
Do it. I mean, I wasn't expecting gold to go down.
Everyone just follow, like, share, comment. Just do it. And Alfie's in the house with Shane Shores.
What's up?
Cat. God Almighty says, long hair, don't care. Tell him, Pedro.
Go with it, baby. Go with it.
Ready for got aluminum foil hat on. We're all ready. Tom is quiet. Am I still quiet? I thought I fixed it.
And if you guys could do us a quick favor, if you guys went over to Trumbull, or if y'all went over to Rumble, and you started following us, please jump in Rumble real quick. Let's get that algorithm going again. Let's see if we can get people in here up to 60 up in Rumble again. If we can get that going, it's going to really, really push things and make things happen. So it's really dope. By the way, did you get the Rumble up and running? Because I'm not seeing it live here.
It's up and running. That's for sure.
All right. Well, it's good to have you. I see we got 4 people there. One is me. The other is Tom. So that means we got 2 people there. Good to have you guys.
I'm not viewing it right now.
Oh, nice. So we got 3 people there. Please share a comment then over on Rumble here real quick. Love to see what you guys saw. Please hit that like button. That helps a lot too. And throw a little share up in that little area. That always makes things look like it's dope and we are off the chain like rama lama lama ding da dang dong boom.
Right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of today's show of DYOR Live. Look at this picture that Grok made of Trump. I said create a confident pose of Donald Trump, and I overlaid the Bitcoin logo on his American flag pin there. But I don't know where I just went. There I am. There we are.
There you are,
but anyway,
Tom.
let's talk about the election.
There you are, Peter.
What an amazing turn of events.
Yeah.
And do you know who called the nuance of the election, called it correctly?
That'd be Caitlin Long.
No, that would be Justin Wallin, our own DYOR.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
He said he came out and he said, my polling is showing that Camilla is lacking in the Latino demographic.
Truth.
And that she does not I shouldn't say she, but the Democratic campaign and the media are not picking up on that. And he brought it up. He brought it up on Fox News when he was on Fox. He brought it up on News Nation. And those groups were like, that's interesting. But there's guys on CNN and MSNBC, which leaned over towards the left, they did not take him up on that idea. And it turns out, big headline on CNN this morning, Harris didn't connect with the Latino vote.
Shocking.
And millions of votes went Mr. Trump's way. Now, here are my concerns about the election, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tinfoil hats on. As you know, I sit up here and I beat poor Pedro up here about conspiracy theories, grand schemes, all this type of stuff. And you see me eat crow when he turns out that he's right on some of them.
Some of them? What are you talking about, Willis? Almost all of them.
But yesterday we had Colia Carrington on, and she had listed all of the conspiracy theories, and I just let her know that the U.S. government assassinated its own president, yada, yada, yada. Blah, blah, blah. But that's not the point. In 2020, Pedro, I'm going to ask you questions you don't need to answer. In 2020, when Trump and Biden went at it, how many people voted in the United States?
Was like 70 mil or something like that?
It was 70 million for Mr. Trump, and that was the most any president had received. Yeah. And that's why he's like, look, I win. I got the most votes any president's ever received. But Mr. Biden got 80 million votes. So I'm rounding these, 150 million votes. Yesterday, Mr. Trump got 70 million again. Now, this has been the largest get out to vote. Most new voters registered ever. Most people door knocking, most money spent, most anything. They got all these new people voting, blah, 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 blah. Mr. Trump gets the same amount of votes. Do you know how many votes Ms. Harris got? Less. She got 66 million.
Okay.
So we're right at about 130, 160 million.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, 130 million. 133 million or so, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
So 17 to 20 million people fewer voted this time.
Okay.
Where did those people go? Only 1 million of them died in the survey system.
Okay.
So where did those votes go? Where did those... The Democrats were talking about, this is the most people we're going to have to vote. It's been the largest get-out-to-vote drive. You cannot believe it. We've got so many people voting in this. And they had almost 17 million people fewer vote. So that tells me, what does that tell me? That tells me that's weird, and that's an anomaly. And that tells me, wait, did the Democrats really manufacture all those votes last time? Were those... In this election, it's the most heavily watched. We had poll watchers, they got lawyers, everything was legit this time, except for the few weird shit going on.
Yeah, but those were sparse. Right.
Like that's one vote here, 10 votes there.
Yeah.
In 2020, was the election really compromised, like some people said, to the tune of 17 million votes? I'm not saying it was, but I'm just saying the numbers don't add up. How can they say they're going to have the biggest turnout ever, yet they had 17 million fewer people for one party?
Bro, that is literally, I mean, that's almost 10%.
It blew my mind this morning when I'm like, those got to be numbers from last night. They didn't tabulate everything. And they're like, no, they still have some numbers to come in. But 17 million?
There's no way. There's no way there's 17 million out there.
Maybe I'm early. Maybe I'm not. Maybe there's going to be some more votes for both parties. But if there are 17 million votes outstanding for the Democrats, then, Trump lost. But he's won. There's not 17 million votes outstanding. There's not enough votes outstanding to allow Mr. Trump or Ms. Harris to win. You guys, what do you think of this? Am I out there? Am I crazy?
No, it's interesting. Oh my goodness, you're right. It is going to make me go,
Right.
Good Lord.
None of the news guys are talking about it. They're like, nobody's, not a single person here. I've been watching CNN and Fox all morning here on the great studio software stuff, which is not working.
If anything, you would thought because of the immigration issue and people coming up to vote, there would have been more votes than we've ever had, right? Like, and
welcome, Guitar Pro Guru. We'll be back.
Oh, what's up, brother? It's good to have
the election here for a little bit.
Yeah, we have to, brother.
Welcome, Derek. Ka-ching's in the house.
Yo, are you? Listen, dude, are you sure we're streaming on Trump Wins Bitcoin? I'm not getting anything on Rumble.
Let me go check.
Okay.
Yeah, I just brought it up. There you are. We got 3 viewers now.
Okay, well, it's good to have every one of you. I don't understand why I'm not getting it. I still
go to Rumble and search DYOR Media.
I did. I get it. Never mind. Let's keep moving. All right. Dude, so
people, Crypto Mike, welcome to the house.
What up, Crypto Mike? Love it.
We loved it because the guy we want to win in the industry, boost our industry up, is gonna do his thing, hopefully. But my Crypto Mike, we're talking about I'm making Pedro's brain leak out his ears, because it's not me that usually comes up with the conspiracy theories. Usually Pedro comes up with the mind benders. And where'd the votes go? I hear you clicking in your keyboard. Is the general research you're doing somewhat correct? Total votes, that type of stuff? Yeah, I know. Weird, huh?
You know what? Here's the thing. I guess what's kind of throwing me off is that when I think about the overall market, or not the market, but the overall voting scheme of things, them going through, them actually, that's 17 million. And listen, dude, I saw a lot of people voting where I was at, man. I asked one guy, I said, is this normal? He goes, no, man, we're having a lot of votes. A lot of people are coming in more than usual. He goes, it's pretty impressive. At least out kind of here in Connecticut. And so I'm like,
yeah, that's my point. It could be that just fewer people voted. But 17 million people fewer in an election in which both parties were like, they got to get everyone out. Now, every election's like that. We got to get everyone out to vote. But this one, they spent billions of dollars registering people to vote. The voter rolls went up. Everyone's like, Pennsylvania's like, we're up 400,000 voters just in Pennsylvania alone. Where'd the rest of them go? 17 million people out of the, let's see, I think there's 200.
Let's throw this out here.
People registered to vote in the US.
All right, so we have this experience, right? Let's look at these guys right here. We have Kamalistan at, there's still about 20% left for expected votes to be counted. That's for Nevada. Then we look at Arizona. Arizona is still about 60%. So if we look at we literally pull up, statistics on voters and just literally calculate, okay, where are those voters? 60% of, just take out the percentages, right? Just look at the percentages, and we potentially, how big is Nevada population? Nevada and Arizona. What's the population of it? I'm curious. What's the
4 or 5 million?
Population of voters in Nevada and Arizona? Dang, I hope that's how you spell it. I probably look like an idiot half the time when I'm on here. Boom. Arizona. Boom. You know what? It's silly to even go to Google anymore or stuff like this. Just simply to go to.
Jesus, you got a good point. I think some would rather not vote than pick somebody too. I did meet a lot of people that was like, nah. And I get that. Malaise sets in and you sit on your couch and get fat and happy. Or fat and sad. I get that. Anyway, we'll put that to the test. But I got to tell you, Pedro, it was something watching the. He won everything. He won the Senate.
Yeah.
The Republicans won the Senate. They won all the swing states.
Yeah.
All of them.
Like.
They're like, oh, it's so contested, and Kamala could sweep them all with the blue wall they're talking about. And they won everything. And this is where I'm going to gloat for a little bit, guys. You know what I didn't like about the election? We did bring this up. And I didn't like you Democrats out there listening. you should call your party up and say, don't do that again. And that is trot out dumbass celebrities.
Yeah,
To speak
like
to you. Eminem and Beyonce
did not help you guys.
they do not help you.
They do not. Like you're trying to win. I mean, I'll put it like this: Hispanic, and we talked about this yesterday. The Hispanic people, like they're a patriarch society, and the guys are very much. I mean, even the language itself is very, very masculine. I mean, you have your feminine, your masculine, and it leans towards the masculine side. And so this idea that you think that Hispanic men are going to side with a lot of the liberal ideology is crazy. I mean, in Mexico and many other countries in South America, if you act feminine, you're not you lose social standing. And many, like, and I mean like that.
Hey, Pedro, hold on 1 second. Guys, I don't know what happened when I unplugged my mic to try and fix it. It stopped my video camera. So there we go. I think it's coming back now.
So it's just it's one of those it's one of those things I think is really interesting, and to sit there and see what's actually happening within the actual organization of the Democrats. I just, again, like Tom said, or not Tom, like Justin said, man, Mr. Wallin, it's true, man. And we talked about that yesterday. I said, listen, I don't see. I mean, maybe I said you might win them this time, but the next time they're not going to sway to that view, unless you can really get them to go ahead. But if Trump gets involved and he starts to make them a lot of money, I don't think he's going to kick out all of the immigrants. I don't. What I see him doing is going through and saying, if you make a mistake and you start causing trouble, we're just going to send you back. I think that would be a smart thing for him to do. Build up the wall and say, you got one shot. If you mess up, it's time for you to go. Like, we're not going to keep you here. You know, so we just, you know, it's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of stuff.
Now, Trump can claim, if he says, okay, you can stay, then they'll be like, okay, now we'll vote for you. It might backfire on the Democrats completely.
Oh, he's a very masculine man. He's very dominant. And that is what moves in the Latino culture. That is one of those things that what's up?
He's in the comments. The libs be on G's nuts.
God almighty. Listen, you know, you grew up in San Francisco.
That was Shane.
Oh, shoot. I see. All right, Shane Shorts. What's up? Or Stores. Good to see you.
That's good, gentlemen.
I'm not going to leave that there. But you get what I'm saying. Like, and I was talking to a female, and I said, here's the problem, I feel like. And she was, you know, she's got more of a centralist, but she's more Democrat, right? And I said to her, I said, listen to me. Look, among men, like, we favor strength. We don't favor sensitivity. We favor intellect and strength. And when I see Kamala, I don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Trump plays a better game to this. You know what I'm saying? If I had to go into war, I'm not taking a liberal side of Kamala with me, and a lot of her guys who follow her. You know, and I'm not saying that they're not strong men. I'm not saying that they're not. But I'm talking that full side of the far left woke side. We just sit there and we go, I can't follow you in that. You don't think a lot of times logically. You get way over emotional on something that's so small that isn't just it's not conducive to really how I see who I want to follow. And so it's one of those things that for me personally, and I've seen and I've talked with many other men who are more centralist. Like, I can't swing that way. I have a friend of mine who was and I've talked about him as well, a centralist Democrat. He had to vote Republican this time because the ultra woke side was like, I can't, like, leave the kids alone. Stop trying to tell kids that they can do certain things. You won't let them get a tattoo, yet you'll let them do a gender reassignment. Like, no, like what? Like what? How is this meet regular sense?
No Snippy, no Dicky.
Like, it's just like. I just thought it was.
It came down when you boil it all down. It came down to this message from what I can make. The U.S. and I had this out with my sister too. I said, the country was done with woke, and some people don't treat that as a big topic. Like, well, you focus on that too much. I cannot stress that how much this woke mind virus is affecting people, culture, and what they're teaching. Just what Pedro was just talking about, his friend, and how this microphone. I gotta get a new microphone to keep this thing. It's driving me crazy. But the woke mind virus. Even Elon talked about it. He happened to his own son.
Speaking of why that's happening, XRP. We'll go over charts here in a few minutes. We're kind of just doing a roundup here real quick of the election, and then we're definitely going on the chart.
Us, Tim R.
What up, Timmy? Timmy!
We'll get to it in just a minute. We just got to finish up this election, because if we don't talk about it, all we'll do is interrupt each other talking about it.
Yes, it's true.
It came down to we're done with woke. We're done with having to say, oh, we're so happy that we're on this land that we stole from the people that lived here, 1,000 years ago, which they stole from people that lived here 10,000 years ago, which they stole from whatever. We're done with woke. We're done with transgender, all that type of stuff, and it's got to start with the president on down. It's just my pronouns are I don't give a F.
Just treat me with respect.
Yeah, do what you want to do. I'll treat you with respect as long as you don't force me to make it think that whatever crazy shit you're doing is something I need to think.
Let me have an opinion. You can have an opinion.
Fine. You can have your opinion. Fine. You want to dress with chicken feathers coming out your head? Fine. I don't care.
Go ahead. Look like a weirdo.
And then it came down to immigration. People just the videos of, frankly, the videos of Elon Musk standing at the border when
that was
screaming
huge.
Across, and the border
that was huge.
Like that opened it up. People's eyes went, wait a minute.
Holy
Those guys are
shit.
supposed to be saying stop. You got to go back, and they're letting them in. A lot of people didn't realize that the Democrats had changed the rule to say come in and see a judge instead of go to the embassy and stay there and wait in line. They didn't know. People are like, what do you mean they just let them in? They're not allowed to do that. And so now people are like,
what else are they lying about?
In Homeland Security for doing that. Change the policy, fire all the management of Homeland Security, and build a wall, and ship everyone else, all those Venezuelans back. Just done. So immigration was huge, and the Democrats really underestimated it. And crime. The Democrats have underestimated the issue of crime for 10 years now, and we've been complaining about it in Chicago. It caused our last mayor to be unelected, and we still, trust me, we still got a new idiot mayor. It was a problem in New York. It was a problem in Detroit. It was a problem in San Francisco. All these places that elected very progressive Democrats, either to be mayors or as their prosecutors, have suffered massively. The crime, people are walking around. The other day I just saw a horse with a mask on his face. I'm like, oh, what's that horse's name? Carjacker? It's so ingrained that you're going to get carjacked that you see it in everything. And people don't even think they go steal a U-Haul, drive it through Gucci's front window, because the U-Haul will break the reinforced glass that they use. And they steal everything, and the police are like, we're not going to chase them because we're not allowed to chase them. They said you can't chase them either by car or by foot. Not even on foot, the police can't chase anymore. So people just walk away from them. They're like, fuck you. And so those three things, crime, immigration, and woke, people are done with those progressive ideas. They're like, maybe they were good ideas, and maybe they are good ideas, what they want to institute, but they were
took it too
implemented horribly, and it backfired on them. Want to make Tim R real happy real quick and just do an XRP? Let's get some crypto going again.
Yeah, we'll go right into this stuff here real quick. All right. So I think it's really interesting to see what we're actually seeing here. With BTC. BTC is definitely saw that rally coming from yesterday, and it stayed strong. I actually was up until about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, because that's when we saw the switch around kind of happen, kind of go sideways with the S&P 500 before I got into crypto. So I was paying attention to the S&P 500. We saw a huge rally, and I thought we were going to get the reverse situation where all of a sudden Kamala was going to start pulling ahead, and then all of a sudden, like, I wake up in the morning and it's the opposite of what we have now, right, where she's president. So I stayed up and I was paying attention to what was happening in the market, and we were going sideways for about 2 hours with the S&P 500. Okay. And you're like, Pedro, why are you going over this? Because that's to do with crypto, right? And where the allocation of money is going to be placed into it and things that get pushed into. So it's really important to pay attention to that. Sorry. Okay, that was a lot to say. And I was losing my breath. Give me 1 second. All right. So let's check out XRP here. XRP is going to be one of those things that we should see. It could be faded. And the reason why I say this is because the reality is XRP, right? We know that they need money. They are supporting the CBDC system and what was actually going to happen there. So the fact is that we saw a rally with them is something that was kind of not a rally, but a big push with them was kind of something that I was kind of thrown off with it this morning going, I'd expected them to sell off. So it is a fairly good sign that the fact is that they kind of went up from this, because I think Bitcoin is going up. So everything, rising tide lifts all boats. So in the same sense, that potentially could what we see. The only caveat is this, is that it has no demand wick, okay, which a lot of the charts look like it. But this, because there's not going to be a Kamala Harris connection there, and seeing a CBDC potentially kind of push out of America, almost even seeing reformation happen against it, right? With the idea that Trump is talking about with self-custody and not allowing any type of CBDC system here in America, which I think around the world is going to put a kibosh on the idea of a CBD system with SWIFT, right? So I think that's a big deal, right? So for looking at XRP, I think they might have to pivot their game plan, but they have a ton of money. They have a lot of followers, so they can easily shift their business model and say, no, we're going to actually start focusing on, and I think this would be a smarter thing for them to do, stable coins, and create good stable coins with great backing and allow for the transaction system that they currently have to really work within it, right? And to make it better. And I think that would be smarter for XRP to do. So on the back end, when I'm looking at the chart, you want to look at a couple things. One, and I've kind of taken, obviously I took a lot of these supply zones out. Right? We have ones right here?
They get God wants to know if who's the co-founder Larson?
Yeah,
can get his money back from Kamala.
it was first $1 million, then he gave $10 million, right?
Imagine doing that. Imagine giving a serious chunk of money to a political candidate. That's big money.
Mm-hmm.
You get it's like owning.
That was his own money,
it's
though,
a hole
right?
in the water in which you throw money.
But here's the thing.
Needs more cowbell. I got a prescription for a fever that can only be cured by more cowbell. Just blacklist your wallet. Tim R says, fire Gary Gensler. Tim R, how did you find us? You watched our show before?
Tim R, what's up, dude? Good to have you, my brother.
Thank you very much for watching us and commenting. I really appreciate it.
Where are you coming from? If you don't want to tell, where would you like to be coming from? If you don't want to tell you where you're coming from.
I see other people lurking out there. Let's drop some comments, people. Give us a hint who's here. It's an interactive show, ladies and gentlemen.
Very much.
This is not just Tom and Pedro.
This is not the Tom and Pedro show. No. This is a full.
Like I said, someday when we have thousands and thousands of viewers and 20,000 comments flying by, then we can ignore all you guys.
I will not. I will put on a slowdown
and beg for your interaction.
I will do the opposite. I'll be like, what up, people? Tom will be like, bro, we got to keep moving. I'm like, I'm not going to keep moving.
I'm only through 1,000 of the 20,000 viewers.
I will.
We'll be on the air tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Thursday at the regular time. Friday, we'll have the full rant Friday Spaces, which have been doing quite well lately.
Yep.
Also,
shout out to all you guys.
Another episode of the Swamp Creatures that's not related to the election, but to crypto scams.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out probably drop it on Friday morning.
What I find interesting is that idea that what we're seeing right now in the left side of there's the wake up. Have you been watching any of those videos by chance?
I don't know what you're referring to.
So remember how when Trump won the first time, you had all those videos of people like weeping and gnashing of teeth? You know what I'm talking about? Like they're like, no. There's that famous one of the girl wearing the pink like pussy hat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I do know who you're talking about. Yes.
Okay.
At the outside the
at the rally.
in New York.
Yeah. Right.
Thing. Right.
Yeah. So there are a lot of new ones that are coming up, people just expressing their hurt. And listen, I feel bad because I'm glad that I'm not feeling that way on the other side, right? Like for Kamala, because she was definitely anti kind of crypto. I wouldn't say anti crypto, but she really didn't give us much direction. So I think she lost a lot of votes in that scheme of things from us as voters, and in the swing states was a huge thing. And so anyways, the reason I say that is there's a lot of these videos of her, or excuse me, not of her, but of the Kamalaites going through and literally like just like straight crying, like, no, why? And like Matt Wall, I follow Matt Wallace because some stuff he posts is actually fairly okay. Yeah. And so what he's posting, so many suits that I'm just like, bro. But there's a good one out there that she's just like, and I feel bad for her, but I also am kind of, it's pretty funny. It is pretty funny.
Welcome everyone joining us on X. Thank you very much for your patronage, and of course, welcome Rumble viewers. It's not like yesterday over there. Yesterday we caught the election cycle, and we ended up with 3,000.
3,000, man! Shout out.
And Rumble isn't like Twitter, where if you just scroll it by and it plays for a billionth of a second, it counts as someone watching. You have to press play on it, and it'll probably settle out to be about 2,700 actual accounts or people that watched it our show yesterday, which is amazing.
Yes.
And, it's the most we've ever had on a live event. We consistently had between 50 and 80 people watching us at any given time.
Yeah,
it's amazing for us. It's a big thing. We did have Mr. Trump in the election helping us along.
Yeah.
But people wouldn't have stayed watching if we produced a boring show. So thank you to everyone that watched yesterday.
Absolutely,
guys. One of you watching today is from yesterday.
So thank you so much for staying there. Out of you 4 people there, or out of you 3 people, because I'm one of them, thank you. Thank you very much. Right. I'll be here all day. Hey, baby. Hey, Elvis in the house. Anyways.
Try the veal.
Try the veal. No, please. Oh, I love it. All right, so let's check out XRP here a little bit, and we'll finish it up here real quick. So a couple places that I'm definitely, if you're looking to kind of capture maybe a sell-off, we could see a push up into that 50-period moving average. That 50-period moving average is sitting where literally all the higher time frame estimates are sitting. So we've got a lot of resistance. If we're going to see XRP push, we are going to need to see XRP push hard because there's a lot of resistance on the weekly and on the monthly. We've got the 8, we got the 20, we got the 50 that are sitting above us right now. And that's on the weekly and monthly, which are the strongest charts out there. So they're going to have a hard time kind of pushing this to that next level if they're going to do it. But if they're going to do it, we're first going to see the resistance level here at that 56, 55 cent area, and then see it kind of push down where we'll again see it consolidate. We want to see XRP stay above. We're going to see it go up above that 49 to 43 area. Okay. If it goes below this and we start to see now flounder, we then should see the gas pull out and just kind of a sell off down to these lower levels. So it's got to stay. We've got to see volume step in from people. And I think they need to change their business plan to make it more conducive to really DeFi, right? In relationship to, because of the new policies going to come. Trump as well as Elon are very much in DeFi, right? His family is very much in the business of DeFi now. So that in itself is definitely going to govern a lot of the pushes and legislation that we see coming down the road for crypto, especially in America. And the fact that it's looking like he's going to have the Senate, or he is going to have the Senate, and it's looking like he's going to have the House. We're going to have one or two Supreme Court judges leaving here in the next 4 years. So when that happens, that's going to cause
no one's ever stacked the court like he.
Dude, it's like, dude, he's literally walking in with like Muhammad Ali on his back. He's also got to his right Mike Tyson, right? He's got Joe watching his 6th, and they're ready to rumble, bro. You got Elon Musk, right? You got Maha, right? And a lot of the Republicans are like, if we saw what what was the Speaker of the House his last term that really kind of messed with them quite a bit.
Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, and was really really fighting him on a lot of the issues that he was trying to pass and push through. He doesn't got
the old guy, Mitch McConnell.
I think it was Mitch McConnell, but no, he was. I'm forgetting. I can look it up here in a second. But you saw real inner like fighting that now with what he's bringing to the table and how much he's overcome. There's he's literally got a full pass to pass whatever he wants. He just needs to shut his mouth again and get to work. And when he goes and he deals with foreign leaders, don't be a douche. Do what you do best. Okay? Create deals. Okay? Bring people together to make money because everybody wants to see prosperity. And make sure you truly make America great. That's it. And make us healthy. Do the work. He's literally got an open road to hit the brakes. There's no cars on the road. There's not even police that's going to be able to stop him. So do what you say you're going to do, bro. Sorry, I'm preaching there, bro. He's gonna look at. I pray if we get ever big, he'll look at this and go, "Man, why were you yelling at me?" I'm like, I don't know. I get kind of passionate at times, so my bad.
Give me a second here. I'm trying to fix my mic. Everyone's complaining about it. It's going in and out.
All right, so that's what I'm seeing here with XRP for you, brother. Also, here's another thing that we could see. We could see it just kind of chill here again in between this 54 cent area to that 51 cent. I want to throw this out to you because I think it might also be something you might be paying attention to. This is something that I'm playing with and looking at because there's so much tech that is going on with Helium, with their IoT network, with the cell phone, right, being connected with the Solana phone, right? Their network going on that. I really see them making a huge dent going forward from an actual like tech standpoint. The groundwork that they're building, as well as what they're doing overall, they're very much a consensus proof by work, right? I don't know why proof by work. Why is my brain blanking? Come on, dude. Proof of work. Holy crap. They are a proof of work coin. You got to go through, you mine them. They have miners, but their miners are set to actually create some form of IoT network that other people are jumping on. So I see a lot of money coming into them, and especially with what we're seeing potentially what's going to be needed. I think they may be utilized with a lot of tech that potentially could be coming. So I just want to throw that out there. And we have something going on with XSplit broadcaster issue on X. Maybe it's everywhere else. Joy, oh joy, 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 joy. Joy to the world. Yeah. It's almost Christmas time, dude. Yeah, baby.
All I can think of is Christmas Vacation.
Hi, Chi.
Just
Too much of that tea with strings. Joy to the world. Come on. The Lord is come. Come on, people. Let her receive her
this
king.
Lady here on TV on CNN, Ashley Allison, she's so pissed off. Right?
Yes, dude.
I cannot believe how pissed off this woman is. She was like, I was going to get, she was ready. She was a former White House person.
Yeah.
And she was primed to go back into the White House in a big job, maybe press secretary or something like that. And she's in the bread line now. And
bread.
So she's been on CNN all morning, just miserable.
Gnashing. Dude, you know what's really interesting? To watch ABC change some of, they're almost coming back to Central. I mean, to hear them talking about the actual things that are going to happen, it was almost like they're like, okay, the writing's on the wall. We should start to like, not be so crazy off this woke stuff and calling Hitler a fascist, right? Dictator and Hitler. We might want to stop with that rhetoric because he's gonna have a full house there, and you might be smart enough to be just dumb, and I don't see him going after them. He'll just be like, y'all fake news still. So if they start to, if
I'm gonna change my mic here, Pedro, so I'm not gonna hear you for a second.
All right. So it's going to be really interesting to see Legacy Media as we start to move forward, are they going to double down and say that he is Hitler and everything's going to go horrible? Or are they going to kind of come back to central and say, all right, let's talk about the policies and things that you're doing and whether you're helping America or you're not helping America? That's what we want to see. You guys have already tried to put him in jail. You guys have already tried to do all this craziness. They call him Teflon Don now, right? Like legit, like none of it stuck, right? His shirt with his mugshot sold over millions of shirts. Dude, I'm pissed that I didn't create that shirt and do it. That was stupid of me as a business opportunity. I was thinking about that last night. I said I should have just simply, that would have been the most smartest thing. Right, on our show, hey, we're selling this. There's a mugshot of Trump, or you can get a mugshot of, or not a mugshot, but a picture of Kamala. I was thinking about that last night for us as income. We can
Check
actually
1 2 1 2.
What's up, guys? Nice to see you guys again today. What's up, Roland Rod? It's good to see you. What up, brother? It is good. God Almighty, what's up? Good to see you as well. Dr. J's in the house as well. Shouting out again.
Check
Jeff
1 2
Ledger,
1 2.
as our good friend over here is working things out. I'm just out here having fun. All right then.
All right, everybody. How does this mic sound? Does it sound better? I got out the old handheld mic.
I think you sound good, bro. But I guys, how does he sound? Does he sound good? What's up, Mike Rhodes? Good to see you. Mic volume up a little bit more. That's what Mr. Rhodes says.
Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. DAO baby in the house.
DAO baby. It's good to see you. Nice.
Roland Rod, thanks for joining the show.
Absolutely. Shout out to our viewers over there on Rumble again. Thanks, guys. Look, if you guys are watching us, please go through, ask us a question, stuff that you want us to look at, whether that is Bitcoin, whether that is the markets, whatever that is, or if you want us to talk about a couple things or things you kind of want to get off your chest and you kind of want to just banter back and forth between us, please, you're more than welcome. Our people on YouTube know that we definitely interact with our people here. So we want to make sure that you guys understand. Banter back with us. If you want to make fun of my long hair and call me a crazy hippie, and I wear V-neck shirts that come down to my my little thing right here.
Wait,
go ahead.
We're not going to be lumped in with the feed people on this one, Pedro.
Sorry, we got to be talking about the feed. We can't even go over it. I don't even want to say that's like the one thing I'm like no. But either way, I'm trying to use the
Yes, Jeff. Sorry, Pedro, to
go
interrupt
ahead, bro.
you, but
interrupt. I'm just
more technical difficulties. This mic
always
that I've had, it looks like the Shure mic that everyone uses. The Shure mic, when I was buying microphones, was $250 or $300 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Like, no, I can't spend that much money on a microphone. And as a student of the movie Blues Brothers, I would think I would know that microphones are important. If you get that reference, then you are a good guy. If you don't, you got a lot to learn. And this mic is a Samsung, not Samsung, but Samsung. And the reviews online are like, it's the same thing. Everything's great. And I bought it. I've hated it ever since I bought it.
Hated it.
So yes, I have technical difficulties. Might have to play the song. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, shouting out to Genu. What's up, Genu? Where you guys been at? Shouting out to you guys.
Darbaby says, what's up with AVAX?
Yeah, let's check out AVAX here real quick. AVAX. Oh. So we talked about AVAX. Like I said to you guys, I was definitely bullish with AVAX. I thought we might see it come down to here. But man, it's going. Like we know that they're doing a lot of stuff with the games. There's a lot of meme coins are kind of getting picked up on it. And they've had some good news. And I think this is one of the blockchains that is definitely going to keep moving forward because of the innovation within the gaming industry. And there's a lot of games are now being established that are really, really good games. They're being established on these blockchains, and one of them is AVAX, and it's going to be real interesting to see as it moves forward. From a technical standpoint, look, I've talked about this. I was talking about buying it. I've been here, buying it down as it pulls back into this level here. I was hoping that it would come back down to that 21-20 area, but we're seeing some good volume come in, and so I'd expect to see us maybe potentially push all the way back up to that $32-$30 area. And so it's just it's just one of those things that I think is going to move forward. I think we're going to be popping it up. We really don't have any resistance until we get up into the 3230 area, and so sitting at this 26 area is it's still big of a steal. I know that Chris, our awesome dude there, went through, and I'm sorry, I'm gotten like
your brain got distracted there.
I got like 5. I'm sorry, what did I say? What was it? Not Chris Wallin. Chris Alexander has bought a lot of AVAX here.
That's
actually,
right. Yes.
Yeah. So I want to shout out to Chris. Hey man, look, we could see a 69, even potentially a 119 AVAX here coming here soon. I made this statement yesterday. A lot of these coins that we saw here, we potentially coming into this new bull market, see it peak higher than the previous highs, if not higher, because now that like Trump has made it clear, like this is what we're going to do when it comes to crypto and much other stuff. So obviously you're seeing banks now starting to put stuff in and make it clear the direction that they want to go. And now granted, you're going to have your topsy turvy, it's going to go up then down, because remember, they need sellers that come in as they're pushing the market up. So they will have to sell the market off to rebound it to go back up. And we'll play around with those twists and turns as the market of this bull market really gets going, and we start to see some legs going and some wings really taking it off. So I'm really excited to see really into this bull run. And granted, all of us who've been buying, right, dollar cost averaging in this bear market is going to have fun. And the biggest thing I'm looking for is letting my crypto get its staking again. I hope that's one of the first things they do.
Bring that back.
Like staking and reflection.
I don't know, we can't earn interest on that, but you can earn interest on everything else you own.
But it's not interest. Again, it's not interest. It's not interest.
That's true, but it's close enough that that's what they think it is.
But I hope Trump's family explained that to him, saying, "Hey, this is not interest. Like it's working." And it's an active working in itself. It's not like an investment that gets active or it gets passive income. And this is one of those things that will hopefully get
they don't get it,
flushed
Pedro.
out.
And I've tried to explain it to people very close to me. I don't mean this is striking, but not that close. And they're like, it's not doing anything. Just
no, but it's.
I'm like, you don't get it. I mean, to be honest, it took me a long time to understand, what staking meant for proof of stake blockchains and things like that. And it is a complicated topic. Like, why do you even need it at all? Just have computers.
Because that adds liquidity. Just like when I'll put it like this: there are people in the market. Okay, there are people in the market that go through, and this is really important to understand. It works. Right, like they work in the market. What they do is they add liquidity to the market, and they are paid income off offering that liquidity, okay, by big institutions. When you stake, that is what you do. You are offering liquidity, whereas when you put money into an investment, you're not asking, or when you put a dividend is basically it's an active income, right, that is being brought to you, but it's more based off of the work of the system. You're not offering liquidity though, right? You're receiving a benefit from that, but what you invested is not working. That's really important to understand. Same thing with bonds. You're not offering liquidity into the market when you give those investments. Whereas with staking, you're offering liquidity. It's working. So there's got to be a new creation of not a Howey test, but another system that we can go through and create to say, all right, this is what's staking. There's got to be new shelves built for crypto that where it explains the true system of CeFi, DeFi, right? It's really important. So, anyways, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
That's all right. That's all right. Those things need to be explained. People need to understand them, especially the Democrats. Did I say that out loud?
Oh, bro.
I feel autocorrect on this new mic. It's an AI voice that changed it for me.
Oh, I love it. So, and for you guys that we've lost again over on Rumble, breaks my heart, man. Dude, I just feel like
you were. I hope you didn't really expect we were going to get those people all back today.
I did. I was hoping, man. I definitely was. I mean, because here's the thing, man. Like,
how old were you when you realized Santa Claus didn't exist, Pedro? Was it like 18, 22?
Listen. You can crack your get your cracks, but you know what? I'm a very hopeful man. Get your cracks in, get your lax in, get your laughs in.
says, damn, that might give you super Republican powers. Anyway, I got the swamp creatures on the line here.
Awesome.
Yesterday, on the election, let's just briefly talk about the election again. I don't know if this will. Nothing's working again here. It just can't get to my thing to do this nice and professionally. Justin was on Fox News yesterday morning. As you know, we did a morning show yesterday because we thought we were going to have a nice watch party, but he went on at 4 a.m. his first time. That wasn't going to happen. But we ended up with a whole bunch of nice guests. Anyway, he was on a couple times yesterday, and if you recall in one of the Swamp Creatures podcasts, he talked about how Camilla was and Trump were in a dead heat, but Camilla's numbers were starting to lack in certain key demographics. It's the name of one of the episodes, and that was amongst Latino and specifically Latino men. And Justin sussed this out in some of his polls and stuff like that, and like, she's slacking there, and that's not a good sign because Latino men have historically voted Democrat. But Latinos do not vote as a block like African Americans do. They just don't vote for whoever they're told to. They vote for a number of different people, and the men and the women tend to vote differently. And this time, or voted differently this time. And Justin called it out on the news yesterday, and I said, hey, you called it out yesterday. When I turned on CNN this morning, big headline: Democrats didn't get the Latino vote properly. Justin says, thank you. I got some flack yesterday morning for the call on Trump winning and the GOP taking the Senate and retaining the House. The House is by no means set yet, but it looks like my blovation was on track in calling out that he's going to win and win by a lot because a whole bunch of votes are going to move from one party to the other, and those were in a key demographic. And so, congrats to Justin Wallin for doing that. And congrats to DYOR Media for having him be an integral part of our channel now. So,
system, definitely.
If either of you guys are watching now, congrats. I doubt they are because I'm talking to them here about it. They're not saying we're talking. But anyway, I thought even our own pollster who was right more than Fox and CNN. Here we are. This little channel. Man. We were right. You guys wrong.
But that's the beautiful part behind us, right?
Jesus, you're right. This thing does have magic powers. Like all of a sudden, I'm in super Republican mode. Like loser, ha 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 ha.
Yeah, we can calm down on that one. But it's, but I think what's interesting is that there is this ideology that, like only mainstream stuff, whereas it's a lot of independent newscasts, news sources really bring like a well-rounded view. So that is probably one of the best things that gives validity. And this is why I think we're sooner or later going to expand and grow really large, because we have a well-rounded view. We do see things. We're not trying to preach a narrative except a crypto-centric strong US, right? But outside of that, we can get there from many ways, right? There's many ways to get there. So it's just one of those things I think is really interesting. Jumping back to the Senate, and as what Justin was saying, dude, it's really interesting to see the House really starting to get ahead, right? Like they're still up 20 points here, right? And or almost 20 points. And it looks like they're going to win a lot of these other delegate areas for the House. So it's still close. I mean, when I say close, I mean, if Republicans stop winning, right, they could at least tie up or catch up where you could have this hard, but it doesn't look that way, right? And I would love to know what Justin has thought right now. While you're doing that, reach out to him. What up, Jake? J Crypto. What's up? How you
Thanks
doing?
Us, really appreciate it.
Genu, we were just talking about you earlier, man. We need to play that song because we were
Yo,
definitely
you
have technical.
up here in the house, baby. Got 'em.
Yeah.
Where you buy that mic at a Republican convention?
Oh, that's hilarious.
The funny thing is that I paid, $150 for this piece of crap mic. The one I'm holding in my hand, I bought 3 for $40.
Dude.
And it's awesome.
It's so much better. So much, like, ridiculously
but I can't stand holding it. My wrist gets sore. Like when we were doing the thing in Toronto, I sat and held this mic all day. At the end of the day, it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Limp wrist. He's got super strong wrist right there.
Right. Gotta work on there.
There you go. Come on. Work on
Pat. What's up, boys? With a Z. We're cool, brother.
What's up? What's up? No click on my...
I do have a lapel mic. I've got a wireless one that actually, if Pedro gets back into it here, I'll put that one on.
Yeah, actually, I do have one thing and I almost want to find out. See if you can reach out to Justin, see what his thoughts on us really taking over the last 17 votes or 17 spots here. Do you think that we actually have a chance there, or is it looking like he might? Because I mean, right now we really saw a lot of the votes kind of step in and see what we've seen in the past, right? We're definitely seeing a lot of Arizona leaning towards Trump, right? He's up by 4 percentage wise. We also see what's going on here in Colorado, and a huge portion of those places for the houses very much could win, right? So these are the, there's just a lot of stuff that hasn't necessarily come out yet. We see what's going on in Washington. We know that both sides of Washington area, there are 2 to 3 delegates on both ends, both Republicans running on the west side of Washington there, or excuse me, the east side of Washington there. There were definitely have some stuff going on, and also Central Valley area in like Modesto. You have a lot of conservatives over there as well that haven't necessarily come out. So I just wonder is that enough to really see it, and in addition to obviously Alaska, right?
I just passed that question on to him.
Mm-hmm.
And actually what I said is, we have a lot of questions. If either of you are free, just let us know.
Yeah.
We'll have you come on and talk about it and answer some questions. Anyway, on CNN, they just had an interesting stat that I was trying to show, that they said that Trump made gains in every demographic.
Literally. Yeah.
In every demographic, which I don't know how, if there's still the same amount of votes, but regardless, that means even amongst white women. And I know from talking to certain people here in Chicago, they were not into Mr. Trump. And that means even amongst their peers, they were wrong.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say wrong. I should say they went.
It didn't necessarily swing. Yeah.
I find that amazing.
Well, it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, he's literally coming into an open area. The only thing that could potentially get in his way, right, is to see a house that is really like 50-50, right? Like if he can pull ahead there and really see some big movements in the house, if he was to, let's say, get 220. I mean, if you got a 220 mark there, that would be absolute. I mean, think about that, dude. 220, 221. I mean, I knew you were like, well, that's just 3 extra votes, but those are 3, like, considerably. Every time there is, unfortunately, and I don't like this about the Republicans and the Democrats, is that they vote on party line. Okay, this is what we're doing, right? And sometimes that's a bad thing, because you can see some areas where it's like, no, you need to have some free thinking here and really find ways to make this the most efficient. I do like the fact that Elon Musk is Democrat at heart, right? Like, he came over because what happened with his son and the situation that happened there. And so he is a lot for the disadvantaged, right? That's one of the primary reasons why he was a Democrat, right? And the same thing similar to Joe Rogan, right? But because he went so far left that it just decimated their view of like, I can't support this crazy. But if we start to see some centralist views come in, you could see on good policies, right? We could see them really take off, and other policies that sometimes that the Republicans propose, it's like, no, we should have money for orphans. We should have money for women who can't take care of themselves, right? Like, these things are important. Like, you can't just throw the baby out the bathwater. So I think we're going to make sure that, I hope that we make sure that we don't swing too right in our policies and see a lot of disadvantaged people really kind of get left out in the water, or left out in the cold here.
One of the things that people forget, and I had this discussion with someone again close to me yesterday, is like, oh, how can you vote for that man? Blah 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 blah. I was like, don't forget, he was the president for 4 years, and did he do that?
No.
In those 4 years?
No, he did not.
No, he did not. He didn't. All of terrible things. He's gonna make, put women in cages and make them wear burqas and all this type of stuff. Like, actually, no, women did very well in the economy.
Yeah, with
Thank
him.
you very much during those years, and continue to do so as the eldest generation of glass ceiling people retires. And none of those bad things happened. The only thing he didn't do well was communicate well and hire decent people. And he's addressed that for this time. He came out and just said, "Look, I hired a bunch of idiots last time." He said it on he was on Rogan's show. Rogan said,
he did.
"Are you last time all these guys ended up in the joint." He said, "I know." He said, "I made mistakes. I made mistakes."
He didn't know
realize
first
how
time.
many people would act in their own interest instead of Mr. Trump saying this, would act in their own interest instead of the interest in the country. And I found that to be quite the statement. So now it's not going to be just him going, "Oh, I like that guy, hire him," and then he turns out to be an idiot.
He knows now.
He's going to do it the proper way, and a committee of people are going to be like, "That guy's not any good boss. You may like him, but he's got child porn convictions." Oh, oops, sorry.
Yeah, I think you actually make a good point. And also, he's not a novice anymore to Washington. When he came into Washington that first time, he was very green around the ears. He even says, he's like, "I really didn't know. Like, I knew, but I didn't know." Now this second time coming around, like, he knows like the inner workings, the swampiness of it, and who really is a swamp member and who is really more of that side of like, look, they may be a bit different, but we know by their character. Whereas he really didn't know the full character of people. He had to take other people's opinion. But now he's been there for almost 8 years, interacted with people quite a bit now, and seeing people's character. I think it's going to be really interesting to see who he has come in. And again,
all right, I'm gonna read
what
Justin's response.
Good.
He said, "Hey, great question about the House." He said, "I can't come on. I'm in the middle of 2 client meetings, but the House is far, far harder to read. That said, I look at several California seats to see which way the wind is blowing, starting with this one particular seat in the Central Valley.
Yep.
It's usually razor thin, but
Stanislaus. It's the Stanislaus County area.
But Valdado has a comfortable lead. Then we truck on down to some Southern California streets, District 45 seats. District 45 is supposed to be close, but Steele also has a comfortable lead. In KD Porter's old seat, longtime candidate Scott Burrow looks to have that one sewn up. So I say the House stays red, but with a grain of salt. So he's calling it out red just because a couple of seats he's following as that give him an idea of what's going on are leading red, and one seat has flipped from blue to red. So and those are in California,
which is dramatic.
God Almighty says, "Now I know why you're wearing blue yesterday, Tom. You didn't want everyone out there to know you were voting red, huh?" Chirac. It's not like I'm going to wear a red blazer. Then I'll look like I work at Ace Hardware or something.
Dude, I need to get a red blazer.
That'd be a red vest. That'd be a red vest. Jay Crypto says, and another thing, I mentioned this on the Crypto Breakfast Club. The aisle has shifted a lot. The middle of the aisle has moved further left, which in turn makes moderate Democrats seem to be more on the Republican side. Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only that, but on the news this morning, they're talking about, they had a guy from Philadelphia suburbs, and he said, "Look," he said, "I grew up in the Philadelphia suburbs. Everybody was a Republican." He said, "You're a Republican. The Democrats lived in the city. We were all Republicans. We were the people that worked in jobs that you went and sat in an office and smoked all day." And he said the people that were the working man, they lived in the city. And they voted Democrat. Now that's completely changed. Now the Republican Party has all the working men. If you're a union trade member, I'm not saying that who the unions endorse because that's different, but the actual workers, they are. I would bet if you went through any union town at all, every car has Trump flags. And I've seen it. I've driven all over the U.S. during election season and not election season. And that's right. And he said it's completely flipped. The working man class now is the Republican Party. You can believe it.
Yeah.
Because Trump took the party over and brought them all in. And the elites left. They're like, we don't like this. We don't want to be with the working man. We want to be in control of everything and hold the strings and do it. And they had to go to be the other side of the Democrat Party. And you're right, J Crypto. Those people in the middle that were moderates, they got swept up with the Republican tide as that aisle moved. That's
Absolutely.
Actually, Carmen Crypto in the house. What a night, y'all.
What's up, Carmen? What up, CC? It's good to see you.
It was certainly the night.
Yeah, it was, dude. Hey, here's a question for you. So with the idea that there's definitely more of the working man, we're definitely seeing, and the elites more leaning towards the liberal agenda. It was really interesting to see that Zuckerberg was more of a libertarian, and I thought that was really interesting. He didn't fully come out and talk about who he was going to vote for, but the fact that he said, "Listen, I'm tired of this. Y'all trying to push me and bully me around," and he's finally starting to get some balls, right? He's starting to be like, y'all need to stop this. I can't. I'm trying to run a good company, and you're interfering with craziness. And I think he was still young, especially about 4 or 5. I mean, we forget. I mean, he's only 30 plus years. He's 30, right? He's 34. Actually, no. How old is Zuckerberg?
Alexa, how old is Mark Zuckerberg? 40.
Oh, he's 40. Okay. Well, it just, I mean, we'll say, 4 years ago, he was 36 area during, and coming into Trump, there was so much media stuff. He grew up in California. He grew up in kind of the Bay Area, in a rough area. He lives still in that rough area, but he's behind I have friends of mine who actually used to protect him. And they say if you were to drive by his house, you wouldn't even know he lives there. You wouldn't even be like, boom. It's like when you drive by Bridgewater, it's literally downtown Bridgeport. It's still kind of a nice area, but you wouldn't realize that the most biggest and most powerful hedge fund is literally right here. You just be like, that right there? Yeah, that. It's like the same thing with Zuckerberg. And so it's really interesting to see. He grew up in areas that were, not necessarily the best area. And the guy's a fighter. So it's going to be really interesting to see as he matures in business, really, right? And really starts to get his footing of this is my stance. I'm not going to let you guys do that. Stop. I think I think it will give way to more of a very centralist point of view, because we're seeing now money coming back into X and the ability to be able to speak freely without being censored, right? Rumble is climbing. It behooves him to have to create a centralist view to allow people to be able to speak for freedom's sake and for his business sake. So it's going to be really interesting to see, are the elites who are huge tech industry giants going to have to switch their view? Right? I think, and just like I talked about with the Democrats, they're going to have to change their view on crypto because the votes dictate it. It's the same amount, but instead of votes, it's money. Money dictated. Ad money dictates it. So I think it's going to be really interesting.
There's it says breaking news. RFK Jr. just vowed to remove entire departments of the FDA.
Is that serious, or is that Babylon B?
No,
it's
on the
it's
news
real.
here. I was pointing like you guys could see it.
Oh snap, dude! I'm like,
Slow today to do that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Let me bring that up. See if we can bring that up.
Dude, I hope, dude. That would be dope. I mean, dude, did you see what I'll bring what Elon Musk posted on. I thought it was epic. I was just like, are you serious? This dude is being. I thought it was excellent.
Chuck, Chuck posts about Bitcoin. I think BTC is about to make another push. It seems to be.
Oh, let's check it out here real quick. Here we go,
brain worms
baby.
away from healthcare, please. We got enough issues.
Oh yeah, this baby's gonna get a pump. Yeah, I can see it. It's coming in. Boom. So excited, dude. I am like, dude, I can't. Like when we talk about like the sideways pattern, it looked like it was gonna do it, but to sit there and realize it was really waiting break out of that. Literally, but I mean, for 9 months, dude, we saw it consolidate, and then now we're seeing it. So what we want to see, guys, is on Bitcoin, we want to see it rally, come back down, find support, and we want to see volume in the push up as well as volume in finding support. So it's going to be real nice as we're looking at this, okay, to be able to capture these points here. I like this area down in that 74 area here, and I really like this other point pulling back into this area. And this was from last night. Oh, no, boom. All right, and I'm actually going to take off this right here because we should start to get out of this area right here as we move forward. And I'm going to create, this is an all-time high, so let's create some demand area for us. My people's Las Vegas. Sorry. I don't know why I started. I don't even know why. Viva Las Vegas.
Our baby says there's going to be some house cleaning. There is going to be some house cleaning.
It's going to be.
I heard while Pedro's fixing up the BTC here, one of the things we've been talking about is Elon and his Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, and he said, "Oh, we can pull 1 or 2 trillion out or something like that. That's a lot of money. A lot of things to suffer, but we can't keep spending more than we have." And he also said it wasn't just that we were going to reduce the amount we spend; it's going to reduce the amount we take in too, because if we're not going to be spending as much, we don't need to take in as much, but ultimately we need to pay some debt down too. But it would be interesting, like there's hundreds of billions of dollars being spent on things that are not benefit to. I don't know what is in your feed.
This is so it's Isabella, like I started going through and subscribing to a lot of these ones that literally are showing like the liberal tiers. So there were so many of them, dude.
This Republican Mike is working.
It's so bad, dude. And listen, I know that feeling of just listen. For me, when I saw Biden get into office, I wasn't happy. I remember that feeling of like, dang, these next 4 years are gonna be rough. So I remember that feeling. So I'm not necessarily laughing at you guys. I'm almost identifying with that pain of going, this sucks to be on your end, right? Like right now, I know that feeling.
Woo. Yes.
No, not like that. But I know that feeling.
What's funny is that on Instagram, I ended up following this account called Influencers in the Wild, and it's where people video other people. Influencer videos, and they're really funny, especially the ones where people act like they're crying. Oh my gosh! This is terrible. But they watch them, they video them setting up like everything's fine, and then they got it just right. And they're like,
yeah, they turn on the waterworks.
It's like a soccer player football player when they fall down after being kicked, and they're like, oh my god, my life is over, and then they look out the corner of their eye. Anyone watching? No. All right, better get up.
Yeah.
And it's really funny, and when I saw that girl doing that, I'm like, that's the same thing.
Yes.
That's got to be a meme, right?
No, it's potentially not, but I just think it's funny because. Go ahead.
How could he get into the White House right now?
No, this isn't real. This is a meme, but he posted it. That was the part what I'm trying to say is he took his sync and posted it in the Oval Office into the White House and said, let that sink in. Like as if this
Ladies
is going
and gentlemen,
to
hold on to break into your breaking news. Chuck Jansen with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Cheers to the future. Keep up the hard work, DYOR Media Network. Hit those likes and hearts. Keep Infineon presale in your sites and spread the word. Infineon presale. This message has been brought to you by the Infineon presale people. Actually, it is not. It's been brought to you by Chuck Jansen, but he
Dr. J.
Attention to the Infineon presale, which just had a major buy of $60,000 in it to boost them up to probably close to $400,000, I think, in their presale. So good for them.
Absolutely.
Good job over in the Infineon thing. Obviously, we're not being sponsored by Infineon. Everyone do your own research. Thank you very, very much, Chuck. Everything that people donate to us goes to bettering the channel, spreading the word, and making this edutainment better for you.
Absolutely. Thank you again, guys, so much for giving us the $10. As you guys know, that goes into the show to build things up. Now, I think what we're finding really interesting here is that, like, this was posted, and I just started cracking up because it was like, I think he's serious. We saw. I think he's really serious, like about. And my thing is do you think if he goes in and he starts getting rid of a lot of these agencies, a lot of these things, do you think Congress is going to be cool with it? Do you think?
No, they won't, because they created most of those things.
I think there's going to be a little tug of war here, just like you said with Robert, right? With Mr. Kennedy. It just, why do I always like flinch?
There's a hard way to do this and an easy way. The hard way is to do it in public and to just drop the bomb on people and say, we're getting rid of this and that. And, because a lot of people are very entrenched, even in Congress. They're like, hey, I'm a congressman, but I got 59 people jobs over there in that department. So, and their families are all the wealthy families in my district. So I got to look out for them. So there's all sorts of that going on. But if they just if the Republicans run the table here and they have full control of the government, and they want to be, but they don't have a filibuster-proof, Senate, and the House is too close to call, or one vote could go the other way. All they need to do is all go sit down in the room and say, this is what we're going to do. We need to eliminate, whatever the percentage is, 25% of government spending. Just and just say, look, you guys can beat us up. Go to the press and scream Social Security. You hate old people, and babies are going to be drowning in the sewers. Go ahead, do that right now. We'll wait for you to come back. You done with that? All right, let's sit around like professionals and do this.
Yeah.
So we need to get rid of this much spending. We need to bring this debt down and show the world that we're serious about it. And we need to tax our people less. And when we do that, every business from the rest of the planet will come racing in. Literally, they'll be like, we're going to the U.S., baby. And and our economy will continue to be strong, and the dollar will remain strong forever. And so how do you guys want to do this? Do you want to fight us in it, in the news? And so we all have to go on the Sunday morning news shows all day, wonk, 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 wonk.
Yeah, and just BS,
and have crypto swamp creature episodes made of us? Or do you want to sit around the table like men, like they used to do, like Reagan and O'Neill used to do? Go have a beer. Let's have a beer. All right. Department of Education, gone. Power back to the states. All right, what are we going to do with that money? Okay, 75% of it we're going to not tax. We don't need that money. 25% of it, we're going to pay down the debt. All right, deal. What do you guys need? Democrats, you need something, right? Well, we'd really like mental health. Okay, we'll take $1 billion of that, put it into mental health. Okay, done. Right,
but here's the thing.
That's what we can do. We can do these things, Pedro. Why can't we do them now?
But here's the thing, right? Like, there's been these huge pendulum swings. If we can center the pendulum and hopefully not cause another reaction, right? Like you said, grown men and women get together and say, how can we make America great again, right? And how do we not flaw? And if you have senators or House of Representatives being too crazy, they need to lose power. I mean, we need to sit there and come back to, as when somebody's going too crazy on one end or another, and you're too far to the left or too far to the right, you're not benefiting the 70% that are in the middle that are working. And so you need to take great credibility. I don't like Cortez because she swings so far, and because she's a woman and
crazy MFer. He's referring to AOC.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I don't even know her real name.
That's I used to know it. It's.
Yeah. See.
What is AOC's name? Alexandria. It's a Spanish name. Cortez. Cortez. What is AOC's name?
The Senate vote in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
1.66 million.
Alexandria. That's what it was.
1.64 million for the loser.
I should put on my glasses. I think that's Alexandria, right? Yeah, Alexandria. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I think it's okay.
Yeah, good luck with that, Mr. Mexican.
I forget. I think Ocasio, or it's like There we go. Give me that. Yeah, I'm gonna give me that. I see. It's like that's a bro, right? I hate putting them up because here's the thing. I've got my window.
Pedro Garcia, our blind chart analyst.
The thing is, I can see the charts.
I'm getting old.
Shut up! I'm not getting old. Ocasio-Cortez is what it is. So, Ocasio-Cortez. And I don't even really speak Spanish. I used to speak it as a child. Then I went into foster care and lost it. But that's for another story, another time. But I almost want to go, dude. Look at this meme here, dude. This is what I'm saying. The memes, bro, are epic. Look at his face, dude. And then remember this because she had the hat, right? And oh my, bro, it was good. It was so good, dude. So good. Like I look forward to seeing the memes that come out, dude. Like those are like there's a whole entire. There's got to be every time you have a meme, you got to create a T-shirt, right? Where you can go through on a pretty cheap level, right? Mass produce it. Where if you want to do a meme, you push it out, put it on a T-shirt, and it becomes a business. That. You know what I'm saying? That's really, I think that's how we could play.
It literally is a business, Pedro.
It's called meme coins, I know.
No, I mean, you can go to the 1 hour shops and they a lot of them have the,
Oh, really?
Okay. Trending internet things and that type of stuff.
Oh, I did not know that. That's actually pretty dope. Okay. That's actually really cool.
Harris did call Trump to concede the presidential race. So it's over.
So she did concede. There we go. Alrighty.
He literally, Illinois is the outlier in the middle of the U.S. As being blue, and it won't be blue for long.
Yeah, a lot of business.
The head of our Democratic Party and the guy that was in charge of the House of Representatives here in Illinois for 40 years is going to be going to the joint for a long stretch. And he was an old school corrupt guy. No state jobs went to people unless he approved it, and it took him 10 or 15 years to put Democratic operatives into the Republican parties in the suburbs, and converted them all from Republican to Democrat, even though they're all wealthy people in the Chicago suburbs. He's going to go to the joint, and all that political money is going to go away now. And so people go back to voting for issues instead of who they're paid or told to.
Yeah.
So the next presidential election, I bet Illinois goes red.
It's going to be really interesting.
You'll see evidence of it changing in the midterm elections in 2 years. So we'll see if Illinois can switch it around here, because Cook County had a lot of people. While it was
they
blue
talked
here in
about
Chicago,
that.
they had a lot of people vote
red.
Vote red. Oh, speaking of, I need to figure out who won our prosecutor race. If we elected another idiot or not. Hold on. We got
While you're doing that, I think what's interesting also on the back end in regards to seeing over in the next 2 years, seeing what Trump is going to do. If we do see a bump quite a bit in the economy, and again a depression within the inflation rate, I do expect to see people are going to sit there and say, look, life is better. If we see lower gas prices, right, and we see money, we start to see our food start to drop in prices and become healthier. I would sit there and say that
and I want to talk about this other breaking news.
African woman who looked at really vote Democrat can sit there and say, my babies are eating healthier and I can get to work and it not cost me arm and leg. If you're in Illinois and you're sitting and you're watching that, you'd be like, why would I go back to the other side? Right? Like, my kids are getting better educated. I'm not seeing them die in the streets because they're afraid they're going to get arrested. So now they're actually going to school.
At Mar-a-Lago,
right? Like,
black and white case.
These are going to be, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens as things now really start to progress. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just saying,
day in and day out.
It's kind of black and white there.
So, first of all, this is an astonishing result if you just sit back and think about it. I mean, these are two of the biggest prosecutions the Justice Department has ever brought. Neither of them will see the light of day. Neither of them will get to trial. Neither of them will get to a verdict. Here's what Jack Smith, I believe, would be discussing as between what can happen between now and January 20th. He's not going to be able to have a trial, but a big question is, will he issue a special counsel report like we saw with the Mueller report, the Durham report, the Robert Hur report? The special counsel regulations.
Hey guys, can you guys hear what
he is supposed to file a written report when he's at the end of his case? Now, ordinarily, you wait till after trials. That's not going to happen. But I want to see: are we going to see a Jack Smith report between now and January 20th?
All right, Trump is
point I want to make about this new reporting that we got from Paula Reed. Donald Trump is going to fire Jack Smith, and accepts that. Note the contrast, because 4 years ago, when the Biden administration took over, and I know Kate will remember this, they inherited a special counsel that I'm sure you were not fans of. A guy named John Durham. Into the origins of the Russian investigation.
You're getting echo. By the way, what's up, Mike, the crypto not? What up, brother? It's good to see you again, man. Hope you're doing well. OMG, you're getting a whole entire OMG, bro, for that. You're gonna get put in the corner with a dunce hat, bro. Like, get in the corner. I'm sorry. That's what she's.
She never says that.
Dude, that's funny, dude. Yesterday I was with a couple of my friends. They kind of came over for this thing, and so that we love The Office, like it's like our thing, right? And we're always doing just quotes and stuff. And Parks and Recs is, anyways.
Are you guys still getting an echo?
Are you guys getting that? Oh, I don't even hear it, bro. Can you guys talk? The echo, Pedro. Echo.
Check
echo.
1 2 1 2 1 2. I was messing around with the sound there. It's always a problem when I do that.
No more audio. There's no more audio.
Well, there should be audio. We should be able to hear us.
You guys, we hear. You guys, we hear, but you don't hear the audio from the.
Zeus may be on the bottle there.
He's trying to help us out, bro.
All right, I'm gonna put CNN on now.
Officials are above the law. The candidate, the president-elect is above the law. And the message that sends, the kind of political precedent that creates, I think is a really dangerous thing. I'm sorry. I'm laughing. Trailer for Ben-Hur.
It's a devil.
Okay, let's talk about Mar-a-Lago.
How about now?
Brad, Mar-a-Lago
First time you did it was.
First time I did it.
Was the one that was considered by whatever the political persuasion, whatever people. That was a black and white case. That one ostensibly is going away too. And that's, of course, linked to Iowa.
There you go. Go. Yeah, there we go.
The best part is I have no idea.
70% of Americans thought these
Way
cases
my
were
sound is
politically
right.
motivated.
With the jury of public
and the
opinion.
jury
I'm
is
not
the
gonna mess
largest jury that's
I'm
ever
not
sat
hearing
in the
Jack.
United States.
Just send me the
Happened
link so I can
yesterday
hear
in
it,
the
so.
ballot box. The public, and plenty of people
now
have
I'll be able to-
misgivings
now
about
since we know
Donald
what's
Trump
up.
who voted for him yesterday. I think that's another thing we have to acknowledge. And in spite of that, they felt like Kamala Harris represented a greater threat. And so I think Jack Smith
You hear
should
it,
take
Pedro?
his cases and go away. That's what the public told him to do yesterday.
Sorry, I get
It was baked.
It was baked.
I think
I can't
Now
hear
you
it,
should be able
but
to hear it.
for Democrats and people who supported
just send me the
Kamala
link and I can
Harris,
just listen to
they
it.
were disappointed that it didn't have more of an impact because they felt like it should, that trying to overthrow an election should be disqualifying. But to Brad's point, it wasn't. And
Okay, I got you. Okay.
I think there will be frustration that it took so long for some of these cases. It took 4 years, and
Sorry,
we haven't even
everybody,
gone
for
to
the,
trial on some of them.
But I was
Had
just
they gone
wanting to-
faster and
Had they
started
gone-
sooner,
that's right.
we might
There
not
was
be
wanted to
still
be
a
able
lot
to
of.
actually
see
just
what
one
Mr.
more
Trump
point.
has to say.
There was still a lot of. There were like delays, but I also think we had the January 6th hearings.
Where is?
People knew, they watched January
Anyway,
6th.
welcome, Crypto
right?
Not. Thanks for joining us all the way.
Whether we like
from
it or not,
Austria.
We talked about this in the
Austria?
break. The decision to
Austria,
prioritize
I always like to ask
democracy
people outside of
as
the US
the
their viewpoint
theme
on the
of why
Our
Donald
election.
Trump
What's
should not
the-
be elected was not
What's the viewpoint
the
of,
thing that
Mr.
voters
Trump winning the
decided on.
election? The world is ending.
This will be one of the great unanswered
as we know, it
questions, I
didn't
think,
end.
of this administration, which is what took so long.
But,
I wrote an
what's the
article in
story?
the
I've
middle
got
of
it from,
2022,
our
before
big
Jack
guy
Smith was ever named special
sponsor,
counsel, and I said, it's
she
already
is
too late.
Too late.
Merrick Garland doesn't even realize it. He's already lost the game.
Taiwan.
And with respect to Donald Donald Trump's defense has been delay. But I don't begrudge him that because he made a defense immunity, which any half-competent defense lawyer would make. Ask any defense lawyer on the planet. Of course you make that argument. Yep. He went to the Supreme Court, and like it or not, there's plenty of criticisms. He won. That's what you're supposed to do as a defendant. So sure, he was trying to drag it out. It was a risky strategy. It paid off. But man, oh man,
DOJ.
Right, I was going to say DOJ left it with no runway. Yeah. So it's on DOJ.
Let's go back to Ashley's point.
Kamala
Harris's campaign made this too big of an issue in the campaign.
Going to Santa, man. I am so freaking bullish, man, on this stuff, man.
We make the mistake that we think campaigns are about us. Voters think they're about them. And every time Kamala Harris was talking about Donald Trump and Donald Trump was talking about Kamala Harris, they were not talking about the voters.
Right. Well, and there was always the challenge the Democrats had, which was a vote for democracy is only a vote for this.
Yes.
And that was not something that obviously fell on fertile ears.
Ginormous push for
the yes and democracy, yes, and I'm gonna help you keep
and I'm gonna
more food on your table.
No. We just it's everything. I was gonna go over all this stuff, but we could just keep saying what you're sharing with the breaking news here.
No, there's nothing going on. Trump is about to step to the mic, and he pulled back. And Joe Mike says Arnold is not that happy. Many people forget that Arnold is Austrian.
Arnold is not that happy. It's interesting. Is that you, Mike? Up in that? You yoked up, or is that what's his name? Keanu Reeves?
No, I think that's him. I think that's Mike, or a good AI representation of him. Well, people here don't feel that comfortable with Trump. Nobody ever did. I mean, he made foreign relations a disaster the first time around. Maybe he'll do a better job. Maybe he'll appoint a proper Secretary of State.
He's not
let them run with it. Just here, you do this and do it well. And
don't be a dick. That's all you gotta do.
It's pretty
Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Be cordial. Be amicable. If you want to be alpha, it's cool for you to be. We don't mind you being alpha, but don't be a dick while you're being an alpha. You can be a cool alpha, okay? And if you want to go grab somebody's arm and pull them in, well, do it gently. Don't throw them off their. I mean, you see pictures of you, bro. You do that, and then they sit there and go, "This jerk," right? Be cool with the other leaders around the world. Let's get some good deals going on. Let's get some good tariffs, or
I'll be right back, Pedro.
lack thereof of tariffs, right? Them charging us, right? Let's not have that. If we can, instead of you charging them tariffs, you just get them to, if you're cool enough, they'll be like, you know what, Trump, we saw that you came up, we saw what you did, man. Look, let's talk. How do we get through this, right? Whether it's dropping the tariffs that you charge on U.S. goods by it's 80, 90%, 70%, we won't. Then I can see that, right? We don't mind being a little bit of extra money in your country or culture, right? 400,000 here we come, yeah, that's real, that's real on Bitcoin, bro. Infineon block, 400K. I thought you meant Bitcoin 400K. Like I said, this time around, I potentially could see a 200,000 to 300,000 Bitcoin. I think this bull run, I do, and people are like, what? I just, because of the way things are shaping up, it very much could push things to a crazy level. So that's exactly, you see this girl all excited for Christmas? That's exactly how excited I am. I mean, it's like seeing a puppy. It's just like, oh dear Lord, yes, a puppy, right? It's like Bitcoin, yes. Anyways, so win 100K, Pedro. I could actually say, honestly, probably we should hit 100K here by maybe, because here's the thing, we got to see it let go, right? We're already starting to see them put places and start to see things going. So I mean, look at this big push from ETH, right? If they really start to, like I said, if it starts to catch wind and we start to see it, we could see within a month or two 100K within Bitcoin. Right. And then that's when the FOMO is going to start, where people's going to start getting in, and everybody and their mom going to be like, what? Bitcoin 100,000? What? And we'll be like, we were telling you about it around 15, 20,000. So, at that point, we see it skyrocket in flight. We see Ethereum again, potentially all the way back up to its all-time highs. I mean, like I've talked about, there's really nothing stopping Ethereum except for the 200 period moving average. And then we've got this zone right here, which is sitting at 3,500. So what we're seeing at 2,600 potentially. And like, I was wrong. Like, I saw a bunch of the shorts coming in, right? Like, legit, right? I was like, dang it, they're going to drop this market first. But now a lot of the shorts were taken off. And so I'm definitely a little bit more bullish with a lot of the stuff going on here, and especially with the conversations potentially that are going to happen in Washington. So it's going to be really interesting to see. So, but I think we could see by Christmas time, potentially 100,000 Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Just simply because just once things start getting going. So I literally had a friend text me asking me why I should buy now. I had a friend of mine who hit me up yesterday too. And I said, I've been telling you to buy for the last 3 years. I have literally come over to your house to help you set it up, and you blew me off. You asked me to help you. And now, like, you've missed a lot of the opportunity. I go, we could buy in now, right? And you're going to be okay. You might make life-changing money, right? But when this stuff was sitting at 500, 1,000, right? As we were coming in, these were the times you wanted to buy. So anyways, bro, you like buying when it's green. All this time, I've been telling you to buy. I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah. But I also buy when it comes down. So you don't remember, I buy when the price comes down into levels that I like, where I pick up cash. I don't buy when the market is rallying, right? Like, I'm excited because I've been buying as the market keeps doing sell-offs, boom, push up, sell off, pull back into our zones. And every time I see a good volume coming after it has a green, I buy in. I've talked to you guys about this, right? We talked about this a long time ago. I'm saying this full like buying at green. Oh, I got you. My bad, bro. I like buying on red. Got you. The guy who you were talking to, he likes buying on green. Yeah, dude, the majority of the novices, the majority of the people who are new to trading or they like seeing green, and then that causes them to want to buy more, right? It's literally, it's a psychological thing that happens. It literally is. So it's one of those things that's just real interesting as we keep moving forward, and they'll keep doing it. That's the part that's so sad, is that they will keep doing it, and it never stops. Never. I don't get it. Yeah, same here, man. Like, I don't get it too, man. It makes no sense to me. And I try to tell people, like, hey, brothers, you might want to buy when it's red here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a good area. This is the area you want a dollar cost average, right? Like, coming in here, be buying at these lower levels. You don't need a lot of money. Even $20 to $30 a week will be when something does a 50x, right? And you've put in, $400, $500, $1,000 over a period of 4 years, right? 3 years, it starts to add up, especially $20 to $50 a week that you would normally blow either at going out to dinner. Just like, you know what? I was telling a friend of mine, I said, you need just 2 bear cycles in the market and a third bull cycle to be completely just done, right? For life, financially. Okay. Got to. Well, it's yes and no. So, okay. So guys, we can see a couple things happening here. So right now we're seeing Bitcoin definitely pushing up here. We're seeing a lot of market movement with BTC, and I got to move this here. I'm going to remove this here. It might come back down and tap that top of this channel here, but that's something that's going to be really interesting. But so here's the thing. BTC is moving up. We've seen Ethereum consolidate, and I think for more fundamental reasons why we've seen it consolidate, a lot of the stuff actually of people needing Ethereum, a lot of the demand for that has lessened, right? But I think as things start to really progress forward, we should see again, I mean, they've got to be smart. They know that the fees is what's keeping people from buying an Ethereum, right? So they know they got to figure out a way to, from a fundamental level, make Ethereum easier to use, right? Make the machine easier to use, and from a cost standpoint. Now, I think what we're seeing here is this big push up of a potential move. I think we could see us blow through this 2,700 area, 2,750 area, and come and tap that 3,000 area here, and come up and tap that 36 area here. And it wouldn't take much because we've already traded through this area here. And we've been putting in higher lows here, which is, for me, you guys know, I always like that. So low, higher low, higher low. Well, that was this is the higher low still from this area here. So it's one of those things that we could be seeing a switch in Ethereum to see the next leg up from this consolidation period. We talked about this area here, right? Us finding support potentially if Trump wins. If Kamala wins, I was talking about us coming down to that 14 to 1300 area, right? Or 1500 to 1400 area. Whereas now, obviously, it's clear that Trump has won and she conceded. We should see some volume start to come into crypto, into many of these projects that we've seen just consolidate, right? Like one being what was it? Why am I forgetting what it's called? AVAX, right? AVAX here. We saw a pump come in and it's starting to pick up some steam. Same thing here with Shiba Inu. We saw the pump come in. I do expect to see this baby start to pick up and move here. So I'm going to move these yellow lines, which act as like more of a range area. So we've already tapped this area. We saw volume come in over the last 2 days. So I'm expecting to see this really kind of push through this area now, is what I'm assuming. So we've got a lot of prepping up for that next leg up into this bull run. So I'm kind of excited to see that. What's up, Mike? Pepe, let's check out Pepe here. Like Infinium blockchain, that's where L2 chains come in play. Yeah, I see it. But I think even for me to sit there and play with an L2, right? I still got to get an L1. I've got to buy the L1, which is costing me a dime to actually buy that, right, for the fee. And that can really turn off a lot of people, especially when the newbies are coming in. So it's going to be something that
most of them you can just bridge into the L2.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Obviously not with base, because base L2 is just using a wrapped Ethereum. But Matic, you don't have to buy Ethereum anymore to get Matic. You used to, but not anymore. Bridges are so vast and liquid now; they just do it behind the scenes.
I just do it. They just make it happen. All right, bridge. So let's go ahead and go over Pepe. Boom.
Pepe's Tacos. Used to be Taco Tuesday when I went to Purdue University, and right down the hill behind our house was a Pepe's Tacos. And I gotta tell you, it was cheap food, but it made Taco Bell sound good or taste good.
It's that bad.
It was not a local joint, we'll say. It was a chain, and it was a chain of badly made food. But it was cheap, so that means a bunch of college students who spent most of their money on beer could afford to eat.
That's awesome. All right, so we've got this monthly zone right here sitting. Tip O'Neill, the great compromiser.
That name anymore.
Yeah, it was like, I had a friend of mine just sent me this text. You were talking. He's just started watching us, and he's like, Tip O'Neill. And I was like, yes, Tip O'Neill. So I was trying to, the great compromiser.
Right, I don't understand why people go to Taco Bell. I really don't. I can see going to Taco Bell in some little town in the middle of nowhere that doesn't have a taqueria. But here in Chicago, there are a couple of Taco Bells. But on every street, there's an authentic Mexican taco joint.
Is it good? Well, you've been to California and Central Valley,
really
so you know.
Lately with all the Venezuelans here. No, but really, right down the street. I mean, not more than a 1-minute walk. There's a great place right over here, in which you can go get. I get the 3 taco special and a margarita, and it's like $14. It's wonderful. It's good. And you get it with cilantro and onions.
Your mic is a little low again, they're saying. compared to Pedro. So am I like blasting you guys? Should I pull my mic back a little, you think, or am I good?
No, it's just I'll just turn the gain up.
All right, gain of function. I was listening to the Joe Rogan show so I had to finish up everything that was happening with Joe Rogan's and with Elon Musk, and to hear them talk about like the idea behind Fauci and the idea behind what the book that they were talking about, and he made it very clear. He's like, this is the science of death. And I sat there and I was like, oh shoot, he's kind of right. And then they'd be like, well, we want to create these viruses so that we can be able to combat them. And I sat there and I was like, that does make sense, but you release the ones that you were creating. And so I just thought it was really interesting to sit there and see what they were talking about there with the gain of function. You said gain and my brain went left field, so that's why I went there. All right, so
Mrs. Striking's doing something in the back, so I got her thing on in the background. I'm gonna be
all right,
for just a moment. But we had
we're about
so
to
far we've had 154 views on YouTube today, Pedro.
Oh, well, it's good to have everyone, you guys, and we appreciate it.
Only 8 here now, but I can't.
Yeah.
At some point, we've had a very good. Let's see, they've been steady. They've just been growing. It's not like we got a big spike from somewhere. Just been growing.
Well, glad to have everyone, you guys.
Us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. Remember, please hit that like and that share button. That helps so much. Always helps us quite a bit. So let's go ahead and go over a little bit of Pepe here. So Pepe's actually had some pretty decent movement here off of the lows here with good volume stepping in, right? We want to see, like, again, I always talk about this, the gain of volume is the conviction play that people are definitely going to be getting into this. So we've had lower highs and lower lows, but over the long period, right, we stayed steady at that 5 or is that 6 there? Darn, I'm gonna have to wear this thing again. That 1, 2. Let's get out of here.
What's Pedro doing?
Get out of here. I want to hear you laugh. All right.
GoFundMe account for Lasix for Pedro.
No. My eyes. I do eye exercises all the time. So I'm a firm believer in the eye exercises. Again, guys, please hit that like and that share button. That really helps us out quite a bit.
Pedro, I am too.
Yeah,
I am too. I'm a believer in eye exercises.
Yeah, like huge.
And I say that because I watched my sister when she was young. She had a problem with one of her eyes, and she did eye exercises and fixed everything, just like doing exercises for my shoulder.
Your body.
Fixed my shoulder when I hurt my shoulder. No, if it can get me.
And I think people don't realize that. Like, you can sit there. Go ahead. Do we have a delay?
We had a delay there for a second. I'm going
to.
do. It's just. Never mind. More technical. Jeff. We're going to need to add to that.
Technical issues, delays. The third verse of it.
I gotta go find the people at CDW. It's a sponsor our show. Come on, guys. Gotta go find them and do it. Get us new computers.
Yeah, man, that'd be great. But jumping back here to the Pepe, we got a few good points here. We could see a pullback here again, and this is like really important to look at, right? That pullback here would actually pull back into that 50-period moving average. It is a weekly demand right here that we could potentially see. So that is a good sign that if we do see a bit of a sell-off with Pepe, right, and if this bull run really starts to take traction here, we've got the 50-period moving average sitting right here, and then you're like, well, what do you mean, Pedro? Why would we have a pullback? Well, one, we're hitting the crossover right here, which acts as a resistance level for us, right? So within that level, when I look at the weekly you can see Monday we did put a demand wick here, but the last few days we haven't had much of demand wick. So I could see the price coming back down, tapping this lower area here on this weekly of that 50736 area to the 50699 area, and then seeing it catch legs and potentially start to move up towards where we're talking about. I don't see any other resistance potentially until we get up into that 11 or 4011 area, and 4011, like that 4011.14 to the 4011 45 area. So for that's what I'm definitely looking at. And again, I'm always looking to be buying, right, on the dips. So that's where I would encourage you guys to do. But if we really start to see volume step into this, okay, and we see this thing just kind of go straight up, most likely if it hits this 11 area first, it's going to come back down, and where we could get back in at these lower levels as well. So we'll monitor Pepe as we start to move forward here. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Can you hear me, brother?
Pepe Le Pew.
Dude, he's another one, man, that was canceled. You think they'll bring back Pepe Le Pew?
He got canceled.
Yeah.
He got canceled. Pepe Le Pew got canceled. If he can be canceled, if a skunk can be canceled,
well, they're not
then
really.
Woke people can cancel you. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They said, no, we're canceling you instead.
Yeah, well, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. I saw this one meme of people saying now we can now call people stupid and dumb again. And I was like, and then they named off all the derogatory words that were now canceled, right? And there was a African-American man who basically said that
you've been canceled by the voters. Pedro, can you not hear the music in your ear?
I do. It's pretty loud. I didn't know if that was
okay. I was just playing the presidential music to say you have been canceled. Miss Harris.
Yeah, the people did speak, and they made it pretty clear what the WTF by God Almighty. I thought that was outside. He's like, what is going on, bro? Oh, that's good. That is.
That's funny.
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday was Technical Tuesday. It was we read the charts and said you're out.
Yeah. So it was pretty nice. You know, it's funny. You hit me up earlier yesterday, and you said Bitcoin's moving, it's pumping. What does that mean? I go, Trump's probably winning, like legit. And so it's moving up, and you're like, oh. And I just thought that was like, I was like, yeah. And then we started seeing the shorts step off. We started seeing things kind of push up that way. So it's going to be really interesting to see as we start to move forward where they're really going to try to position this to push up. So I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, what's up, Crypto Knight? It's good to see you, brother. Hey, guys, everyone happy with the results? I'm guessing so. Absolutely, man. A Trump win is a crypto win. Absolutely. And then the fact is that Maha and our, crypto, I don't know, what would you call him? Crypto mascot, Trump. I mean, I don't want to call him like a godfather. He's more of a mascot that we kind of like, yeah, right? Like,
yeah. And to be clear, we definitely advocated for Mr. Trump's, based on his crypto policies, or just his lack of not disparaging them like the Biden administration has done. We didn't discuss any other politics or tax policies or anything like that. There's many complicated issues, of which many of them I disagree with Mr. Trump. But on the crypto front, the finance front, a good discussion to have is he going to put guys like Jamie Morgan, a banker, in positions of power in which the banking will stay the same? Yesterday, Caitlin Long talked about this at length. Or is Trump going to put in the reformers?
Well, here's the thing, Jamie
and
Dimon.
If they put in the reformers, we could see a whole different policy in the U.S. towards money, debt levels, borrowing, all this type of stuff. It could be a big change, and it all depends on who he puts in charge.
But here's the thing, Jamie Dimon, and he said it. He goes, there are cryptos that do things and cryptos that do not. And the cryptos that do things are good investments that we would definitely be looking to get into. When he makes it very clear, man, very open that, my daughter called me out and said, Dad, I own Bitcoin. What are you doing? And then he goes and says in a public forum, she kind of schooled me, saying, you don't know what you're talking about. Be quiet, right? Like literally. And so when you hear that rhetoric coming out of a guy who's definitely been pro TradFi, and then we're seeing what JP Morgan is doing, right, in relationship to creating their own blockchain and type of system that correlates with that. And then to see the administration really start to head that way, it would behoove him to start to look at DeFi and go, okay, what else investment opportunities would happen to be here that we need to look at? And I think seeing that, if he does put him in, I don't think legacy finance can say the same, because here's the thing. The Trump administration and family are literally in DeFi. And they'll tell their dad, they're going to have influence on their dad saying, Dad, no, that dude's being a douche. We don't want that. So, I don't know.
I love that thing where the daughter came up and said, you sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter said that to me. She's only 18. Not on the topic of crypto, but about other things.
Yeah.
And, of which I must say, she's now a loser on that front.
Well, but here's the thing. The fact is that you do consider at times if your daughter's right or wrong, right? And I think that's one of those things that is important. Having family to kind of call you out, having people sit there and say, dude, you're being an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Which I have a lot of people like that in my life purposely that will call me out and sit there and say, dude, what about this? And I'm like, well, what about this? And they'll be like, what about this?
You do it to me.
Yes. And I purposely I live in an area, not an area. I try not to live in an echo chamber. I do not want
to live in a state of mind.
Say again?
Pedro lives in a state of mind.
I don't even know what that means.
It means you don't really exist. You're just a state of mind.
Oh.
You missed the whole joke.
Oh, getting it.
It was satire.
Oh, sorry.
It was the tainment part of the edu.
Not trying to be the tainment, and I'm like sitting there I'm like crushing it. Dude. Yo, dude, I'm like Colbert when Jon Stewart was trying to do the joke. I went back and looked at it because Joe and Musk were talking about it, and I was like, I gotta go see that spot. And I was like, yeah, he totally was trying to duel, and he wasn't trying to allow Jon Stewart to have the stick of the lap point. I totally screwed you up, so that was my bad, bro.
That's all right. Carmen says getting involved with Stand With Crypto is a great way to assist in educating the lawmakers on the positive use of crypto and the blockchain. And that was brought up to me by at ETH Toronto by the head of Coinbase Canada. Oh, I can't remember his name. Anyway, but that Carmen's comment reminded me to ask you, Pedro, how did your buddy in Washington do in the election?
Look, it's still late. They haven't gone through. I'm hoping that he's able to really kind of pull ahead. He's 2 points down from it. So I hope he wins. I'm praying for him. And that
doesn't seem like it if he's 2 points down now.
Yeah. So let's go ahead, and it's sitting. They're still counting it. This is where they're at. So right now you can see that Sessler is down 48, and Dan Newhouse is up to 51-2. So
yeah, he's not going to pull that one out.
You don't know, man. I mean, I've seen God create. We saw Trump things.
How much reporting is left?
I don't know. Let me. I forget where to see that. Boom results.
I got to tell you, this picture of Miss Harris here, I'm glad. One of the reasons why I'm glad she lost isn't because of that, haha, we win, you lose. It's because I can't stand this. The what do I do with my hands thing. That's why I give you.
Oh. I was sitting there I was like, oh, that's funny.
What do I do with my hands? What do I do with this? And you're like,
just put your hands down. Just put your hands down.
Is she hanging out with Jesus here and trying to make it rain? She would not work as a girl from the hood. She'd like, throw your gang signs. It's like me trying to throw gang signs. It's not going to work. Right. Yes. Yeah. Stand With Crypto is a well-funded group of good backing from the major exchanges and crypto firms to teach legislators, and they're active in Canada. They're active in the UK. Good group. Pedro, what state is your friend in? Washington.
Yeah,
Washington, and Pedro's been educating him on
Crypto and
Crypto, but unfortunately, his friend is likely going to lose.
But I'm hoping
which would have been a good thing for one of Pedro's friends to be in the inside in Washington.
Who's known a lot by a lot of people. He still is very much active in Washington, so I think he's going to very much be a part of the administration, if not as an advisor to maybe the incumbent, right? And in regards to business policies and things of that nature. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. If not, I know he's very much involved in why is my brain blanking here? In Washington, and he goes down there quite a bit. He communicates with a lot of the Republicans, and because he is a businessman, he donates and he helps people out. So he always has it. Go ahead.
Sorry, the headline below says it was a red wedding, a bloodbath. Someone close to Harris said, it says Harris surrogate, it was a red wedding, bloodbath. Nice day for a red wedding.
Dude, it'd be crazy.
I'm liking this new mic. Now I can be Billy Idol.
yeah. Dude, it's a trip. If he hits 3, it would blow me away if he got 300. That would be insane. We already know he'll most likely win Alaska, right? Like we know that, it's already kind of baked. He's already up at 10 points there. But when I'm looking at him, if he wins Nevada, that would shoot him, dude. Like you know what I'm saying? And he'll probably win Nevada. I mean, he's already up 5 points, and they're already at 84% counted. So it's like one of those things that you could see. What is the largest electoral vote? What's the right one?
Victory?
Yeah, victory. Curious.
It might have been Reagan. Of the modern day, I don't know about back in the day. Remember Reagan beat not Reagan's first term, but Reagan's second term. I can't remember who he ran against. Reagan's second term. First time was against Carter, beat Carter. The second time, man, why am I blanking on that? Walter Mondale?
Wow, dude, that is nuts. Okay, so you're right. So the largest electoral vote win in the modern history occurred in the 1984 United States presidential election.
That's right.
Yeah. When Ronald Reagan secured 525 electoral votes, defeating Walter Mondale, who. That's
right. He won everything. Except Washington, D.C., I think.
13 electoral votes. This victory gave Reagan a 97.85% of the electoral vote. You talk about a man who can literally get people to like you like that, right? Like, you're like, I may not agree with his policies, but I like them. I'd have a beer with them. You know what I'm saying? And so that was the man's gift. If Trump can channel that energy into this election, it's done. Like he's got the golden. He'll be able to do whatever he can. But if he comes in super strong and starts to be super alpha-ish, he'll lose it. He'll be.
What we got left here in the group. Red Wedding, nice Game of Thrones reference. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I have missed out on the culture references to Game of Thrones because I have not watched it.
Dude, you have not watched Game? What?
No, and here's the problem. Is that there's so much of it, and everyone says it's so good.
It is.
You have to invest. You have to plan on 7 seasons.
Good point. And you don't got the time.
And there's so many other shows that are only a few episodes. Right now, Mrs. and I are in the middle of Diplomat Season 2. And man, it's as good as Diplomat Season 1. It is. It's simply epic.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to break any reference. I'm getting the chills just thinking about the season ender of Season 1 of Diplomat. And if you're a Pink Floyd fan, I'm not going to give anything away, but if you're a Pink Floyd fan, you will love the season ender of The Diplomat. is a watch.
The Diplomat.
So good.
The Diplomat. Anyways,
I've got goosebumps. Like just thinking about it, I'm like, woo. It's all the things I'm a little biased. It's all the things I love. Diplomats and spy stuff. Potential war, avoiding war, maybe going into war, intrigue, finding terrorists, all this type of stuff. I mean, that's like stuff I could watch all day on TV, read every book, all those stories about, like Jack Reacher and all these guys that are just one man ass-kicking machines.
Like ass-kicking machines.
And then they come along with the diplomat, who is the lead as a female ambassador to the Great Britain or to the United Kingdom. And it's so good. It's so good. You gotta watch it. All you guys gotta watch it just so I can talk about it.
We shall watch the Diplomat.
HOD is great too. What is HOD? Home of.
He is climbing though. It's interesting. He is climbing, so it's really interesting to see. And he's, Daniel.
He hasn't conceded, so
yeah.
Opens up.
Yeah, I just think something.
Dragon. I've not seen House of Dragon.
Dude, that's the other show that is for like that. That is nuts. When that was the cliffhanger to the end of the first season of House of Dragons. Woo, dude, dog. I was like, dang, I do not. I thought about reading the books, but I hear that books are absolutely this morbid. I mean, like you walk away, you're in a depression. I mean, and you're. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to deal with that. So. But that show, that the House of Dragons show, man, is real. That's real. Jumping back here to what we're seeing with the House, I'm really. I think if he wins, that's going to be 2 delegates. So we should see if he wins or if Newhouse wins. That's Republican both ends. And the next one here, Michael. Baumgartner, he's definitely going to win. So that's 2 to 3 already sitting right there.
There's snow on the ground in Bozeman, Montana. Sorry to interrupt you, Pedro.
Montana. It's okay. Go ahead. So that's 1 to 2. I think it's 1, 2, 3. You have 4, 5, potentially 6 right here, 7 right here in Arizona. And then 8. So you could, potentially, they could 8. It's close, dude. 9, that's 54, 9. And it's still a little too tight. 9. 10. 11. That one's pretty far. 11. Oh, too close. 12. 13, man. 13. That would bring us shy. So the House is going to be, it might be the Democrat House. It might. They're looking, because that's 13. That wouldn't push us past 12 or 218.
Oh, I kind of like the House being divided, because then nobody can run the table.
Yeah.
Pass bad legislation, but we do need. Every once in a while, you need 1 or 2 years of getting stuff done. But if we have to put up with Nancy effing Pelosi as the House Speaker again, I think I might die. I can't do it.
What you tell me how you really feel about her? I feel like
just
you're holding
another
back.
One of those righteous people that think they're always right because they surround themselves with yes people. She literally thinks she's right all the time. Oh, that guy Brown beat the incumbent Rosen, the war veteran that has the face.
Yeah. That's dope. Boom. Hey guys, good to you guys over at Rumble. Appreciate everyone. You guys, if you guys could do us a quick favor, if you're logged in and you're watching us, we got 6 people over there watching us. Please hit that like button. That helps us so much, and leave a message in the chat. Again, that helps the algorithm, pushes us out there, and allows people to be able to check us out.
Our baby's trying to do dishes and listen to us at the same time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for listening to us as you do your dishes, bro. I do that all the time. I listen. So it's funny that somebody's actually listening to me as they're doing their dishes. So that's dope. I love that. I'm like, that's
the
crazy.
votes are still being counted in Nevada. I said that Brown had won.
Yeah.
That's not correct.
Okay.
So the Senate could become stronger for the Republicans. They're not counting him in the victory totals right now.
But as long as like people aren't so right or so left, and we're really dealing with real pragmatic laws, that the fact that we got rid of the Chevron doctrine is another huge thing, right? That's going to cause us to really look at individual policies that are going to be brought up into Congress and be able to really have a strong conversation about it versus just a huge conglomerate of things, and then we really don't know what's going on. So I love that fact, right? Where we're going to have centralists that are going to have to come in and going to have to dominate, right? Say, hey, look, let's go ahead and have this with that. And instead of just huge sweeping policies that get put into practice. The other thing I'm really looking forward to is to seeing a lot of things that have been placed that hurt, I feel like, America are going to be removed, right? And so that's one of the things I actually look for. And I mean, obviously, I'm talking about more about the health system here in America, or excuse me, lack of health system in America.
Right.
It's more like a sick care versus health care, right? So I really look forward to seeing that happen, and my hope is that we see a real.
Just so you know, for you Canucastani's listening, or Pedro in Canada, they really have just sick care, and when you look at the U.S. system, it's health care compared to Canada. Canada, they just like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. You're the doctor. They're like, all right, we'll take these pills. You're like, no, let's get some blood tests. All right, we'll do some blood tests. Then you take the blood test, and they're like, yeah, just take these pills. And they're like, no, something's causing the problem. What's wrong? Don't worry about that. Take these pills and you'll be fine. Like, no, that's not the point of it. We want to find out what's wrong. It's like, yeah, let's check back in 20 years. They're like, well, it might turn out to be cancer or something, right? Nah, you'd be dead already. No, that's not how this is supposed to work. You're supposed to figure out what's wrong. And they're like, nah, it's Canada, buddy. Hit the road. It's the funniest thing. Then I go to the doctor here. They're like, all right, we'll get to the root of the problem. And someone calls you back. They're like, hey, we're working on this. I had a team of doctors look at it, and everything's fine. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. But take these pills.
You'll always get the pills. That's only you're gonna get. That's guaranteed. Here's these pills. Take 2 in the morning and call me. Right? But it's going to be nice to sit there and see. I hope, again, I keep hitting this hard, and I hope this actually happens. A lot of the chemicals being taken out of many of the foods, a lot of the pesticides that are causing basically male boobs. And I'm not joking. Moobs. And most men under the age of, literally, when I say this, 30, compared to other generations who actually had a flat chest, that comes from a lot of the foods that we eat that are high in estrogen as men. It's
so ridiculous, Pedro. It really is. And I try not to eat processed food. I try not to, but it's hard. Even every once in a while, you're like, oh, I'm going to get some cold cuts. And you're like, oh, I'm just eating turkey and lettuce.
No.
And you're like, no, that's full processed stuff there.
Yeah. I mean, because what he's talking about is the hormones that are placed into the cattle that he pulls, where they pull the meat from, and that's filled with testosterone and estrogen, trying to counterbalance itself when it's being shoved with tons of antibiotics to keep it alive. Do you know
what I just went to, Pedro?
Where did you go to?
I went to the Toronto. It was called the Toronto's Agricultural Wild Winter Fair. Toronto Agricultural Winter Fair. Whatever. It's like a state.
It fun?
It's like a state fair.
Yeah.
But it's in Toronto, and we went because Mrs. Striking she was a junior national champion in an equestrian event called Hunter. It's in between dressage and the jumping. You jump, but it's.
Is that the Canadian version of Future Farmers of America? I mean, honest. I mean, but the Future Farmers.
No. The Future Farmers is like a farmer supporting group. This is like, think of your big state fair. Well, I mean, I don't know. You didn't grow up in the Midwest. The big thing in the Midwest are your state fairs, where you bring your cows, you bring your pumpkins, you bring everything, you bring your goats, and you get judged on them. And then there's auctions. You buy and sell. Anyway, it's a version of that. She wanted to go see the jumping events. The Olympic team was there. Blah 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 blah. There was also the cattle show. the cattle show was there, and all the grand champions, the fattest cows you've ever seen in your life. You're like, how do they even move? You know what? And like, wait, how do they get that big? And Pedro, how do they get that big? Hormones and all kind of stuff they pack into the food, and that these cattle, they were so big that they could hardly even move them. I mean, I was like, how does that thing even move? And it was, you're just like, ugh. All of a sudden you're thinking about that giant steak you had last night, and you're like, oh, that's where this came from. And it really turns you off on it. But I do love my steak, so just take these pills.
You know what's interesting, and I find this actually pretty sad, is that because of the excitotoxins that are within a lot of the chemicals that are in, and these are chemicals that fool with our taste buds, okay? And they basically say, hey, this is really good. I.e., one is
MSG.
Thank you, MSG, which is just a salt molecule, but it just has one of the salt molecules kind of pulled away, right? And
which occurs naturally in your body too. But
exactly, and I'm about to say it actually occurs. Good Lord, it naturally is in your normal stuff like tomatoes, garlic, onions. It has MSG in it, and so this idea behind it is that you can actually create your own MSG by drying out a lot of just natural herbs and natural processes, blending them, dry them out, blend them up, and you got MSG, which is awesome, which is really good for your body too. I mean, not super good, but it's good enough to where it helps your body because it has a lot of catalyst nutrients that correlate with it, right? And so it mitigates a lot of the harmful aspects. And then anyways, I say this all because the reality is this is stuff that's been hurting us for years. And I'm hoping that RFK can really do something about this, and we're saying this all been within the last 20 to 25, years where this, it's just been proliferated throughout our food system. And I'm hoping that something can be done with it. Anyways, I just saw
Meme Nation comes to the house, says more likes and shares, you Muppets. It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, multiplicational. This is what we call the Muppet Show. Oh, here, while this lady's on, look next to me on the screen here. This lady's hold on, she's a pissed off person, that's for sure.
Oh, yes.
Hitting with hat. Let's go. Best show ever. Thanks for joining us on the Rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to rumble.
What was it? What friend was I talking about? Carmen asked me something. Pedro, you can go to their website and check out.
The Stand with Crypto group.
Oh, yeah. Pedro, what was your friend? Oh, he's in Washington. That's where he's at. Yeah, Washington. I believe he's in the 4th district is where I think he's at.
Oh, come on. I know I captured that screenshot.
Yeah, 4th district. Is she actually live there on Fox, or is Fox streaming?
That's live. Wow. That's a live Fox.
And she's live on Fox. Impressive.
What do you mean?
I'm just looked at. I just realized I'm like behind. I just realized that.
Oh, I was wondering why you're responding to comments from 20 minutes ago. You know what I didn't realize?
What's up?
Hitting with that says nice V-neck.
Dude, we even talked about that. I go, dude, I need to change my shirt. And I go, and I started making fun of it because I was like, me and my V-shirt as it matches.
To be honest, most of my T-shirts are V-necks because I wear them with
but I also got
another shirt of some kind.
I've got moves. So V-necks with moves don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting rid of them. They're definitely getting away, and I'm there. You guys can see like the chest broadening out. I'm all getting yoked up. Like, look at the guns, baby. Anyways, but what the I don't know why.
I've got moves. I look good. I don't look good with a V-neck t-shirt.
Dude, I swear, I don't know what I'm saying. Sometimes I get it. Bro, let's catch it. You know, there's going to be bloopers, bro, on this show. Dude, if we continue, this thing just blows up. You know, there's going to be. I look forward to this. You know how they have bloopers of like Joe Rogan and all those other guys, right? It's just, they're hilarious. I am like looking forward to when somebody goes through.
I mean, I got it. Every show I've done, I've got archived here somewhere.
Oh man,
and
it's gonna be.
And so the. And on the one, and most of the time I just record it in the cloud, but for a lot of them I'll click the local recording button, and that starts before you go on the air. And so there's all kinds of shit on those things.
Wrong with the V-neck. Where my wifey?
Looks like.
You know what? Like, there is a difference in also like I personally, I think I look good in purple and as well as in red. Right? It's like the color for me, right? Anyways, the reason why I say that is, I will, I'll sit there and I'll look at it. So whenever I'm looking to get clothes, right? I love tees, like nice tees. You know, every guy remembers the day when it's summer, it's nice, and you grab the tee, you iron the, you know, the neckline, making sure it looks flat. You know, the crisp, huh?
Pull that shit out of the bottom of the pile, wrinkles and all.
Yo,
that shirt is wrinkled. It's a t-shirt. Come on.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, just make sure it doesn't stink, right? You know, anyways,
do that a lot.
And misstriking allows you. I'm surprised she doesn't make you go back and put another shirt on. That's funny.
Yeah, here's the loser right here, Harold Ford Jr. Sorry, your money didn't work.
Yes.
It'll take a long time to process. Hey, I summed it up for you guys earlier in the show. For those of you that weren't here, it's no woke. We didn't like the immigration, and we don't like the crime. Pretty simple. Yeah. They could talk about the economy all they want. The economy's doing fine compared to, you know, Depression era or whatever, or compared to during Trump, because we had the X number of more jobs or whatever, that kind of stuff. When you side by side, it's almost identical, and it's the best economy.
No, well, okay. First, no and yes, and this is the reason why. Look, when we look at the idea, there were a lot of times, and I bring this up multiple times, the revisions that were done to the economy always ended up much worse than what we currently had. And so this was the part that was very frustrating to me as an individual, is that we would talk about this, and a lot of people would talk about this that are in more of independent news sourcing, and they would be looked at like, be quiet, but they were really bringing the truth out there to say, like, no, the economy is not good. We're in a form of depression, but because of some of the metrics that we look at now that have been changed, you can't see that they're identical. But the truth is they're not. They look identical, and the reality is they're not. They're vastly different. So that's. And we can one day pick a show where we can go back and we can look at those things and then make it very clear. But I digress. Keep going there. Forgive me for having a
I was just going to say, I mean, you and I talk about this all the time. We talk about debt. Let's talk about this, obligations of the government.
And employment, blah, 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 non-employment, you know, is...
If you do the zoom out, do the zoom out, it's still the best economy the world's ever seen.
In the world. Okay,
right.
Fair. Great.
And so
I'll agree with that.
So most people weren't like, oh my God, my life sucks. They only thought that because they were being told that Donald Trump and crew got up saying, you know, it's your problem, or it's Biden's problem. And even Ms. Harris came up and said, I'm going to fix it. And then everyone's like, well, what are you going to do?
Part of it. Yeah, like you were a part of it.
Right. You had a chance to fix it.
Yeah.
Right. And so it really wasn't the economy. Really, it came down to people not liking woke. And also I'll add what I can't remember who said it here. Said and a bunch of his friends who are Democrats who said, "Hey, we didn't get it. We didn't get a vote here. We got Mrs. Harris dropped on us here. Nobody voted for her, so we're going to vote for Trump." We know more about him. We don't know anything about her. Mm-hmm. And of course about crime. That was it. You know, Pedro. I'm always look at our clock here, and I think right as we get to the top of the hour that we've been on the air long enough. But I forgot I'm in Central Time. And it says that it just went over 2 o'clock. And that's usually when we're like, all right, let's pack it in. It's 2 o'clock. No, we've been on almost 3 hours today instead of 2 hours.
Well, we did such a long day yesterday. It's almost like, anything less than 3 or 4 hours, we're like, showing them guns. Right. Ooh, yeah. Make them bounce, make them bounce, make them. No, I'm just joking. Showing.
But that being said, I need to get going. I do have some real world stuff I got to get done.
No worries. No worries.
And I do need to pack this in for the day.
Well, just so you know, man, we've seen all you new guys over there at Rumble here. We just saw we had a bunch of influx of viewers. Please subscribe and like us. We go over a lot of, and this is really important, geopolitical stuff in relationship to crypto, how it interacts and how it's going to interact with us here in America. Right now, we're seeing a new policy system coming in from the Trump administration for crypto, and we are going to be all over that, looking at how it's going to affect us as crypto holders and the policies potentially that are going to be favorable or maybe not so favorable. But on each step of the way, we're going to be talking about that. In addition, we go over charts. It's really important. I'm a chartist. I'm a real trader. And so we're going to go over those things as well on a daily basis. So if you guys want me to check out charts, you want us to check out projects, we do a lot of things. We're not just a TV show. We're also a network. And so I want you guys over there at Rumble to really kind of understand what we're doing, what we're building here. It's a small network right as of right now, but we've got some pretty big top people.
What he said. Yes, what he said.
Yeah. And so I want you guys to know that over at Rumble, we're also building our stuff over here at, we've got about, a couple hundred watchers over on YouTube, got a couple hundred watchers over on X. And so we're trying to build up over here at Rumble. And so if you guys who are there, please hit that please hit that subscribe button and come in and interact with us. We're a very interactive show. We like interacting with our guys over there. You can see in the comment section, Kent with Hat has been basically connecting with us as he's making fun of me, which that's kind of carte blanche for our show.
It's interesting. We're getting I flipped over to Rumble to see what you're talking about, and all of a sudden we had a bunch of viewers over there. For those of you, please hit the like and share button. Really appreciate it. Even if you don't share it anywhere, hitting the share button gives us some help on it. But also on our channel, we have not only the DYOR live shows, which this is, we also have episodes of a podcast called the Crypto Swamp Creatures. And it's two Washington, D.C. think tank guys that talk about the convergence of crypto in Washington, D.C. And as you may suspect, it's been quite popular lately due to the election cycle. But as we come out of the election cycle, and is when it's really going to get interesting, because that's when we see new policies be implemented. We're going to try to see if Mr. Trump, President-elect Trump, can be, I'm a stickler for titles here, but President-elect Trump can do what he has been saying and support our industry. And I realize a lot of you guys have come over to us from an election news cycle type show. But we hit the crypto markets, we hit the digital asset markets. Pedro here goes over not just the charts in crypto, but we talk about the bond yields and inflation and all that type of stuff that goes into making all that data.
And the reports. I'm always talking about the reports that are
and especially
really important
the jobs
here.
Report that the government has been lying to us about.
Oh my goodness, that right there, bro.
Pedro called it.
I kept calling, and y'all were like, "Dog, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Yo, you just need to be quiet." And I'm like, "I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, they're faking and I hate to say not faking the numbers, but they were faking the numbers. And now that they knew that they were out, woke up. We're gonna go over this some other time.
And the boys in the box below me here at the Fox News called it out just a few days ago, and I'm watching. I'm at my in-laws watching. They said, "Hey, this doesn't make any sense. These numbers." And I'm like,
"Right." Freaking Pedro was
Pedro. They finally figured it out. Just so you know, everybody, Pedro called that news cycle long before anyone else did, and our own DYOR pollster, Justin Wallin, called the election for the correct reason.
Yes.
Long before even Fox, and certainly before CNN or MSNBC.
Absolutely.
Or I don't know, I'll just say the Republican microphone is still working again before any of those other left-wing channels. But you hear it here. It takes a lot of times the little guys say things first, and then much later the big guys pick it up.
And I think, and this is the most important thing to me, and I think this is really important to Tom as well, is to have real, honest discussions regarding issues that affect every one of us or adjacent to us, the people that we love. That is the most important between us. And if you guys have any real questions, many of our guys over on YouTube know if you have real questions, we'll go research. We have connections with people who can find out certain things, and we can really find out. We'll deliver it and give you guys that information. And so we also have special people who come on here who are special. Oh, they're just sweeties. No, but what I'm saying though is that they are special.
Live reference, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, what I mean though is they're real insiders, right? They're insiders into geopolitical situations, and we bring them on. So those are dope conversations that we have. You can check out in the past over there. Have we uploaded a bunch of our stuff from past shows to Rumble or no?
Just my Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked series. It doesn't make any sense to our DYOR live shows. Most of them aren't evergreen content. That, the news cycles expire.
Yeah, good point. So
uploading and managing all those is killer. But we do have 3 seasons of Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked where I use education and other people's misfortune in getting rug pulled to teach you guys 2 lessons about it. They're funny shows. Anyway. But I do have to get going. I'd like to pander to the Rumble crew all day here. But before we go, Pedro, let's give the Rumble crew a quick BTC overview. What's happening?
Yes.
And then we'll finish out the day.
All right, guys. So let's check out. And if you guys are into memes, let me know. Also, to any of our guys that are watching us on any of the other platforms, please let us know. You guys are Director Tom and Pedro Damas. Laugh a lot. Your mama June came out. It's funny. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom. So BTC here. We've been talking about this now. We're finally pushing out. We're seeing really step in. I was just talking about here before. We could see a big push here by the end of the show, and that's what we're seeing. We're starting to see. You can see how we did come back to our area here during our show, and now we're starting to see it kind of push up. So that's a pretty nice. Hopefully, that's a pretty nice. Sorry.
Sorry, I've been missing out on the comment section, guys. My YouTube comment thing crashed a while ago, and I didn't reset it. But I just did to get the end.
Absolutely. So this is the thing I want you guys to be paying attention. If you guys are looking to go long, listen, stay above the 8-period moving average on the 5 and 15 minute. I would say 15 minute. You can see that we're trending on the 8 here. So we could see now that we really don't have any resistance above us, we could see this thing really start to take flight here. We're already seeing some pretty good volume step in. And so we could see it happening throughout the night. Where is it going to come? I don't know. I'm almost even pulling back and saying we could see a Bitcoin, 100,000 Bitcoin, maybe at the end of November. So it's going to be crazy really to see where we see resistance coming in. So shout out to Bitcoin grinding it out. If you guys will do us a quick favor, hit that like, subscribe, and share button because it really helps us out as a small edutainment news outlet. Wow, that is actually really good. We need it.
I like that.
I do too. We need to go back and look at that. Anyway, so thank you guys so much. And again, if you want to make a comment down at the bottom, make fun of me, make fun of my V-neck, my man move, or with our moves, and my wannabe goat here. Go ahead.
The moves.
The moves. Dude, I gotta get a shirt.
And it gets me every time. I
love moves. It's like when somebody farts, right, dude? It's like when somebody farts, like, dude, and it's like especially when you got a bunch of dudes together and you just and dude, it's just no matter even how old you are, it's just like we revert right back to 5-year-old kids going
damn.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I don't even know why we went there.
I mean, there's a whole show of just those discussions that we get. Have. I mean,
yeah, sorry, we're just guys, dude. Sorry. All right. So thanks for coming. Tom, thanks for having me today as well. Appreciate you. You rock the mic like nobody's business. So, and you're about to drop it as you walk.
Boat. Oh, baby, rock the boat.
So I was about to go into another song. Dude, we could just keep this going. You've got to, guys. Oh, one last thing. Also, guys, so tomorrow we're going to have another show, and as well as we do a space on Friday where it's called Full Rant Friday. Where that is it's on space, or it's on X, where it's a space. It's not recorded. You can come, you can complain about what's your woes in crypto and what's happening there. You're always more than welcome to come and speak. I'll let anybody speak as long as you're not derogatory to anybody, but you can just say what is bothering or ailing you. So that's in a nutshell for Fridays. Tomorrow, what time are we coming on?
It's 12:15, 12:30, somewhere in that area.
There we go, guys. So come check us out. Same, that's East Coast time, 12:30, 12:15, and we will have a fun time had by all.
Leave that channel, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Let's see, what do I got here for the exit here? That one sounds fine. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as always, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to have hosted another episode of this award-winning show, DYOR Live. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, so be there.
Be there.
Let's see, now this button.
There we go. Again, thanks for watching us, guys. Again, over at Rumble.